What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode, another week of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. And on today's show, we're going to be talking lots about Marathon. But first, we're going to talk about a story about Hogwarts Legacy coordinating with HBO's Harry Potter TV series. Okay, we've talked about this in the past as well as far as shows and crossovers and whatnot, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Bungie's leadership ignored Marathon devs' repeated warnings and PvE requests, new reports say. We're going to talk about new Marathon info, Bungie morals, launch worries, and changing plans. We're going to talk about the vibes have never been worse. New report details that Bungie's morale is in free fall after Marathon's art theft claims. There's no claims. There's no claims. Okay. But these articles are from a couple days ago. And then we're going to watch Destin Laguerre's video on Marathon. Bungie admits to artwork theft. Their stream last week, man, I don't know if you guys saw this. This was the saddest piece of content I've watched in a very long time. It was pathetic from a production standpoint to the actual people. Like, why would you throw them out there in the middle of this? I mean, I guess kudos to them for throwing their guys out there in the middle of a feeding frenzy. But I would have just delayed it. You delayed it so many times before. And now they didn't delay it and threw them out to the hounds. So if you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here in the very morning, where I say good morning to the people that are here and talking. So Eclipse, Stealth, Sarge, Z, Roadkill. Who am I missing? Big Mo, what's going on? Mr. Luke, good morning. Dolphin, good morning. I think that's everybody. Worlds, what's going on? Good morning. How is everybody doing? Clean up in the morning here. I tell you a lot of stuff before I forget. I wasn't supposed to go live this morning because we were supposed to have people come to the house this morning to continue construction. They flaked on us, so that's why I have a show this morning. I'm not sure when they're rescheduling. You know how contractors are. So the person that's supposed to come might be tomorrow, might be Wednesday, might be Thursday. So just make sure you guys are posted on our Discord. Our Discord is free for everybody for announcements and general chat and also submitting news stories. If you're a member of the channel and you join our Discord, you get more rooms and stuff that you can go into and look at. But everyone can join our Discord. It's a very small community, but it's a very, I think, I like our community. I think you guys are awesome. I think we have, most of us are adults, so we can have conversations and whatnot. But yeah, so check out our Discord. Make sure you're following us. Give us some feedback. There's a feedback channel as well. What you like, what you don't like of our channel, what our streams, our uploads, whatever. We do have other channels as well. We have 30 and Still Gaming, which does on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights. For video game play. We do the podcast at the end of the week on Thursday nights called Generation X Gaming, which will be back this week, which we do on Twitch and also YouTube to finish out the week. The Daily Grinds here in the mornings, and all the music that you're listening to in the very morning, which is all written by me, created by Sono, which actually makes the songs. If you like it, we have a channel called 30 and Still Jamming. If you like that music, you want to hit it in the playlist. It'll help us out. We're trying to get that channel monetized, which is going to take a really long time. But I'm slowly uploading all the songs that I've created up on that channel. So if you guys like the music, play it in the playground, in the background, share it with your friends. So the new song that I put out today, or this weekend, I should say, is Control-Alt-Steal, which is basically the song that's, here, I'll play it just a little bit. This is Control-Alt-Steal. This is based on the art theft that's happening from Bungie right now. Sorry, this one. All right, so this is the new song. So if you like to go listen to this, go check out 30 and Still Jammin'. Can I just say this is funny? Worlds just said, you need a Bungie stole it rap now. Worlds, I don't know if you know this. I am fucking on it. I'm on it. not only am I on it, okay? Not only am I on it, okay? I'm on it. I created this on Friday.
Snipe that fast. Bungie said test this, it's hot off the grill, but the aim's so cracked it's practically ill. Then boom, plot twist, forget the fragments, the biggest scandal pop, too loud to miss. An artist named N2 stepped into the chat, said, yo Bungie, you really use that? 2017, I dropped that design, now it's hanging in your outfit like it's totally fine. No mail, no tag, no legal reply, just my work on a billboard in $1 billion sky. You took the sauce, forgot the chef, and called it inspiration like theft ain't theft. From trail plus steel, you did it again. Stole my art like it's just a trend, no credit.
Bungie is a bunch of lying cocksuckers, okay? They've been like this for years, okay? I am one of the few people to tell you this from all the way back in 2016. I said, I don't like Bungie. I don't like Bungie. I don't like the people that work at Bungie. Okay? They're all a bunch of liars. No, I don't want to say all. Not all the developers and stuff like that. Good morning, Wonder Rose. Right? Good morning, Hilly. Hilly, thank you very much for these 17 months. For the 17 months. Appreciate you. Oh, while Hilly just said 17-month subscription. Okay. Me and Hilly are on like different schedules right now, right? Because of shit that happened personally in my life right now with my son and everything. We missed last week, or we missed 2 weeks. Did we miss 2 weeks? I think we missed 1 week. I have to do something tomorrow for my son, so tomorrow's stream is canceled as well with Hilly at 1 o'clock. And then next week, Hilly's busy, so we're gonna miss. It's gonna be a couple weeks. It's gonna be a couple weeks before me and Hilly play Dragon Wilds again. But we're still playing. It's just that our schedules are not lined up right now. So Dragon Wilds will be postponed for a couple of weeks. So just putting that out there. Oh, yeah, Worlds. I love creating these songs, right? I love creating these songs. These songs, man. What I love about this is that I love music. Love music, right? I was in a band, not just concert band, marching band, but I used to be in like a ska band and a jazz band and stuff like that. I love music, right? I can't make the music like I did back in the day by playing my trumpet or my sax and stuff like that. But I love the fact that I can write and create stuff and just put it out there. Just put it out there, put it on my channel, put it on my other channel, and just let people listen to it. You can like it, you can hate it, whatever, but I love that there's an outlet that I can just make stuff, right? So I think it's great. That's why I love making fun of these corporations, these articles, these writers, these journalists, whatever. I love that I can just come up with a song like John Walker says, have inspiration about something, and then just write it. And when I have it, write it, right? Put it down, put it into the system, and then I run it over and over. I put it in country form or punk rock or medieval times or whatever it is, right? I try different versions of the songs, and then if I like it, then I put it out there, So 4 times Art Theft Award. I think it's 5 times, isn't it? I think it's 5 times, Krebsy. What's going on, Krebsy? Mo says it's 2020. In 2027, it will have PvE campaign and all kinds of shit. Bungie will have all the new everything, but keep the name because it's all known. Yeah, I fixed the sound. I shared the song on Twitter. I liked it. I appreciate that, Hilly. Yeah, you know what? Every time I make a new song, I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite from my last song I made. Like, I really like the John Walker song, right? My inspiration for John Walker. You guys ever watch True Blood? Right? Like the True Blood, like I just like that sound. Okay, so I created this is the Skip the Boss. Like I just like that sound.
Well, I booted up south of midnight, feeling fine. Got my spells, my sass, I'm ready to shine. Then boom, big beast, 20 arms, breathing fire. I died so much, my controller retired. I tried to roll parry.
My son's walking around the house. My son walks around the house now saying, John Walker says, like, I love the fact that I can make stuff like this. It's fantastic. Dolphin, thank you very much for the 22 months. Sounds like Beastie Boys takes my money. When I put it in, so the for Control Alt Steal, I basically made it like a funky indie rock theme is basically what I was going for, right? Which kind of pulls in Beastie Boys, which kind of pulls in. Now I know people are like Beastie Boys is not indie. They were back in the day, right? So like Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's a mixture that goes on, and I absolutely love it. Right, and then the Control Alt Steal. Control Alt Steal is more of a. Oh, I'm sorry. The Control Alt Steal is more funky indie rock. Okay, the John Walker is southern folk rock. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I like the sound of it. I like the sound of the new one. Yeah, Mo, life happens. Life happens. It is what it is. Reused assets / content theft, other works. Bungie creatively bankrupt at this point. They were bankrupt years ago. Remember, N2, from her own tweets, said that she worked on that back in 2017 poster. 2017. I've been talking bad about Bungie since 2016. Okay? Since that time, in 2016, they've been caught, I think, in 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024, and now 2025 for stealing things. They're in a lawsuit for the Red War. Okay? We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Sarge says it's called creatively bankrupt. The best part is, in the stream that they had on, was it Friday? In the stream, the poster behind Joe Ziegler has the assets of the thing that was happening. Like, partial of the poster is art theft in the back of the poster. Like, what? Mr. Luke says, yeah, like Dusk and Dawn. Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. Mo says, heads are rolling. They're trying to figure out what they want to delay or can't fix. Here's the thing. As of right now, you guys might be right. They might delay it. I don't think they are. Okay? I don't think they are. I think 100% they're going to go full steam ahead with Marathon because they have to. Sony has to have this come out. Are we overblowing artistic theft? What do you mean? Are we overblowing it? No, we're not overblowing it. They stole it. Mo says, yeah, Red War is a word for word a short story from a Redditor. Yeah, the villains themselves are from the guy's story. The story is from the guy's story. They have assets over and over from other people's creations and posters and whatnot. They've been following this person for years. House says people are saying that she should sue after they scrub these assets. They can't sue for anything. They can sue. There's evidence that they had it in the game. And yes, the game's not out yet, but she 100% can still sue. But she said herself, if I'm not mistaken, House, she said she can't sue because she doesn't have the money for it. Right? I know I know people are giving her money, but all they have to do, these scumbags, these freaking scumbags. That's right, scumbags. Okay? They even said on the actual stream, oh, we're reaching out to her and blah, blah, blah. Right? You used her work. Pay her for her work. Find out who submitted that work. It's not like they don't know who submitted her work. They have artists in the company. They know who worked on what, who submitted what. They know who did it. They know who did it. Okay? It's bullshit to say they don't. Okay? They don't want to call someone out. But the worst part of it, okay, is that they already know who did it, and they said they fired them. Sure they did. Okay? And then the manager knew about it and yet kept it in. When did you fire the person? Did you fire the person just recently? Did you fire him a long time ago? Like, her assets are all over the thing. All over it. It's the identity of Marathon. They give her 6 figures. She'll be happy. They should pay her for what they used, which was everything. It's the whole identity of the goddamn game, okay? And she shouldn't work for them. She shouldn't work for them. She should just get paid and move on and work on something else. Because how could you work for a company that literally stole from you and pretend it didn't happen, and they're like, oh, we're so sorry, we apologize. So ridiculous. She didn't create the art style. I didn't say she created the art style. They literally have her assets all over the thing. There's not what you could go to the website, or at least a couple days ago, you could go to the website and it's still within the videos playing. The stuff that she had is literally all over, plastered all over everything. They have to scrub through everything. Why do you think they didn't show any kind of gameplay footage? Because it's everywhere. Everywhere. Kyle says it's honestly insane at the fact that they didn't just say, hey, look, how cool is this person's art on this on Twitter? We should reach out. No, because they're scumbags. They're scumbags, Kylo. They've been scumbags. What's going on, Travis? Travis says, you know what game didn't have stolen art? That's right, Concord. It was still shit all on its own. Well, here's the thing. It might not have, at least that we know of. Who knows? They're ex-Bungie employees. Maybe they did steal it from somebody else. But this shit happened all the time, right? In the past, and I'm talking about in the movie industry, in the music industry, in the art industry, this shit happened all the time. But you know what the difference was back in the day and now? The internet. The internet. Because I could have walked by somebody. Let's say I'm walking down the street. I'm like, hey, look at me. I'm walking down New York, and I see an artist on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's a really cool artwork. And they don't know, but I take a picture, get the idea, and I'm like, oh, I'm inspired by this person. But you just straight up steal it. You buy the thing for $10, $15, then you go somewhere else because you live across the world. And all of a sudden, you become this phenomenal artist, but you're literally just stealing someone else's work, take it as your own, and no one knew anything else, right? They're just like, wow, this person's a great artist. Yet the one person on the street goes, hey, that looks like the artist that did this and such and such. And they'll be like, what are you talking about, right? But now there's the internet, right? And anybody that tries to take someone else's work and puts it out there, they're like, they'll never know. Are idiots. Are idiots. 100% are idiots, right? Happens all the time on YouTube. People take other people's work on YouTube and pass it off as their own all the time. You'll see crops that come out of the things. You'll see other people's ideas just thrown on other people's channels. But because they're bigger, people think they came up with the idea, not the other person they stole it from. Happens all the time. Eclipse says the thing is she used the art technique made by the Control-Alt-Delete, the comic book style, and they didn't even delete the marks they used. No, they literally took one for one. She put the marks in there, okay, and just threw it in there. They didn't even try to change it. Haas says she made a character that looked like Void, and all they lifted it and made money from it, and then she could sue. They also got 2 friends claiming that his woman is full of shit, and I'm like, nah, man, this Bungie, if you tell me that they sacrifice babies, I'll believe it. All art she inspired from is something else, but I agreed she should be credited as the source of inspiration. It's not inspiration. You understand that, right, House? It's not inspiration. It's literally theft. They took 100% of her artwork and threw it in the game. It's straight up stealing. You know what? Let's start off, since we're already in it. Okay, let's start off with Destin's video here. Okay, because I think he takes the whole thing. I watched the first minute and a half. Okay, it's a 20-minute long video, but he basically breaks it all down of what's happening. Okay, so if you guys like what I do here, We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Again, we just cover news stories, have conversations, watch videos, give you my thoughts and opinions, get your thoughts and opinions from chat. So, Krebsy says they literally have something in the game that says anti-real daily series. Yeah, if they have her assets on the marketing, they would have to remove it. Yeah, they have it through not only marketing, they have it throughout the entire game. It's on buildings. It's on the weapons. It's on the actual, like, cosmetics. It's all over. It's literally in the posters that they printed out and started using for marketing. But now they have to go back and completely overhaul everything. World says, you're totally overlooking the fact that they said they stole this art from another crowd, from Artist Crowded. They're also downplaying that from the multi-billion-dollar company that's done this at least 4 other times. If you're a person that's defending, and I'm not saying you are, Worlds, in any way, shape, or form, right? I'm just saying in general, if you're a person that's defending Bungie right now, I'm sorry. You guys are morons, okay? You guys are morons if you're defending Bungie right now. Bungie has done this over and over and over, and these are just the times they've gotten caught. These are just the times they've gotten caught, okay? They have to clean out that company. Top down. Top down. Crowded House says, I think Pal World is 1,000 times worse than this. House, you are 1,000% wrong. You are 1,000% wrong. One is being inspired by something, and the other one is literally stealing someone's work. One is taking, oh, Pokemon, let's make something like Pokemon. Okay? And the other one's like, oh, I like this. Let's just put that in the game. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? One is theft. One is theft. One isn't. Let's watch this, shall we?
Bungie is caught up in one of the biggest art theft scandals and accusations I have ever seen in the industry. Their audience is furious, accusations are flying, and it feels like "we're sorry" isn't going to cover it this time. I say this time because this is not the first time it has happened.
What? Not the first time? Is it the second time? Is it the third time? Is it the fourth time?
Let's get into the details right now. To catch you up real quick, there is a big deal going on right now within the Destiny community. It was addressed on the most recent Marathon Play MA, but let me give you just a little bit of context.
Oh, here's the best part, right? Bungie came out and said something on Twitter, but off a secondary account, by the way. They didn't even go off their main account.
Long story short, this artist came forward and said the Marathon Alpha released recently and its environments are covered with assets lifted from posters and designs I made in 2017. This was highlighted to...
Look at this. Look at this. This is her poster. This is her poster. It's the same font. Okay, it's the same font. It's the same exact thing. Like, what are we talking about here? It's on everything. It's on the weapons. It's on the UI. It's on the vehicles or the whatever the buildings are.
Joseph Cross, and it was highlighted to Bungie. As you can very clearly see, this text is from the trailer. You can go see this right now. It is utilized in several different locations, and it is a direct copy of this creator's poster that was made several years ago. It's not the only example either.
Look at this. They took it and they're like, oh, well, if I take the triangles and we just flip them upside down, oh, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. They took the things and used directly from it. Okay? The logos that she has in the order that she has them in, they used it here. If the artist worked for you and you said sure and you paid her for her work, then no problem. We don't have an issue. But we have a goddamn issue when you literally strip it from them and give them zero credit because you don't want to pay them. You know who else does this? That's such a good, and people still defend these people left and right? Disney. Disney loves this. Do you know why Disney does this? Disney didn't want to pay the writers. So they just said, well, none of this exists anymore. And then they take the ideas from the books and then put them in their movies or their TV shows or their comic books. Okay? They just stay because they don't want to pay the writers. They don't want to pay someone that already came up with the idea. They just want to take the idea. Fuck you.
These arrows are one-to-one matches, according to this artist, with their arrows. And these icons are basically one-to-one matches with the icons that are used on the side of this building. There is a lot to dive in here on because Bungie came out and admitted that this has happened and that they have let go of a creator on their team. We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie
artist includes these as texture sheets was ultimately used in game. Why didn't someone look at this? Why didn't upper management? Upper management, first of all, this person should be fired. Second of all, the other person that checked their work should be fired. And then the third person, whoever that is, that let the actual sheet get into the game, guess what? That person should also be fired. All of these people should be fired. 1,000%.
Artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in-game. This issue was unknown by our existing art team, and we are still reviewing.
Crowded. Not only do they have to remove it, okay, people have to be fired. The dude that was on the podcast, the art director, gone. He should be gone.
How this oversight occurred. We take matters like this very seriously and have reached out to the artist to discuss this issue and are committed to do right by the artist.
You're not ready to do the right by the artist. If you were, sign that check and give it to her. Nope, they won't do that. This is the way it should work. If I was the person that worked for Bungie and stole someone else's work and then submitted it as my own, and they know who that is. They know who that is. Okay, obviously, they fired the person. That person should be sued by the company for submitting stuff that's not theirs and pushing it off as theirs. Okay? 2, the artist, she can't sue because she doesn't have the money, but because people keep stealing her shit, by the way, she should sue the company. The company should sue the person, and multiple people should be fired.
As a matter of policy, we do not use the artwork of artists without their permission. To prevent similar issues in the future, we are conducting a thorough review of our in-game assets, specifically those done by the former Bungie artist.
I hope this happens. Are you ready? I hope they don't find all the assets because they don't know where all the assets are. Okay? They're going to have to try to scurry around and try to find out where they put the assets. And I hope somebody finds one once that game comes out and it's in full launch. Boy, I hope someone finds something in the game because that would be wonderful for the artist.
And implementing stricter checks to document all artists' contributions. We value the creativity and dedication of all artists who contribute to our games, and we are committed to doing right by them. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Well, I mean, that seems good. The artist is quite happy. It said, the artist in question said, completely overwhelmed by the response to this. Thank you so much for the support, and especially to those who have donated. It helps enormously. People were asking if this artist was going to sue or not, and they basically said, I do not have the money or time to deal with a lawsuit. I'm going to put my headphones on because we're going to listen to a clip out from Rebs Gaming, who clipped it out of the...
Quintar says, watch them blame it on AI. Yeah. Imagine. I imagine. They'll just be like, oh, no, It was the AI that did it. We didn't know.
The stream today to hear what Bungie said specifically in regards to this particular situation. So here is the commentary from.
I believe this thing right here is part of her.
Them during the live stream.
And so to that extent, I want to send my personal apology.
Like, they can't show anything from the game anymore. They can't show anything from the game anymore. This whole live stream was postponed multiple times, okay? And they were supposed to show gameplay and whatnot, but now they can't.
To Anti-Real, whose work was used in this case. And I know how unfair this feels, and we're doing everything we can.
First of all, this man shouldn't even be working for the company right now. If he's the art director and he let this happen because it got into the thing, he should be fired. This is the reason there's different categories of people. There's the person, then their lead, and then their lead, and then this person's lead, and then the top person's lead. And yet this got through 1, 2, 3, 4 people to be like, yeah, let's put it in there. Beautiful work. Without ever checking.
To make this right with her.
This is a multi-billion-dollar company. They were paid $3.6 billion purchased from Sony. And these people let this go by. Multiple times, by the way. For multiple years.
Her work is fantastic, and we clearly share mutual appreciation for a specific genre of graphic design.
Come on, Jones.
And it's very exciting, and I'm excited to...
He looks excited, doesn't he? Oh, I'm really excited. I'm so fucking fired. If I just looked at that sheet, I don't know what I was doing. No, I just let it happen.
Have folded that into our style in general. So thanks for listening.
Now, here's the problem with that statement. One, kudos to them for addressing it head on. But two, that art style is prevalent throughout Marathon. The whole design aesthetic of all the marketing materials of basically everything we have seen about the game thus far is using this other creator's assets. It is a huge problem during the...
Everything that we've seen so far from Marathon is her assets. Bungie is marketing a game with the assets of someone they didn't pay. Do you guys understand? This is not just a oopsie. This is a multi-billion-dollar company stealing from the poor.
Stream today, they wouldn't even show gameplay because they need to scrub it. And the bigger problem, this is not the first time or second time.
Oh, not the first, not the second?
Or third time.
Oh, not the third time either?
Or fourth time.
Oh my God, not the fourth time?
It might even be the fifth time.
I think it is the fifth time, Destin. I think it is the fifth time.
Something like this has come up.
That we know of. That we know of.
Somebody made this handy dandy chart if you're looking for it.
Oh, someone made a chart. This is fantastic. Caught in 4D. 2021 Destiny 2 Witch Queen trailer. Okay, used fan art. Used fan art. Credited artist after mistake was noticed. They weren't gonna credit anybody. They weren't gonna credit anybody. Oops, we got caught. Oops, we got caught. 2023 used near identical fan art in cutscene. Apologized and compensated artist. Or did they? Or did they? 2024 copy design for Nerf replica. Identical patterns. The content to compare, to compensate and credit. In contact. They haven't contacted. Multi-billion-dollar company has yet to compensate the person they stole it from. Apologize and compensated artists, or did they? The next person, they're in talks to compensate them. Okay? And then 2025 used 2017 design. 2017 design. In 2021 was the first time they were caught, but yet her designs were from 2017. Let's go back further, shall we? Someone please go back further and find out if Bungie was stealing stuff ahead of 2017.
2021 Destiny 2 Witch Queen trailer. Mal E used fan art of Xivu Arath in trailer without credit, credited after the mistake was noticed. 2023 a Destiny 2 cutscene. The artist Julian Fayola used near identical fan art in the cutscene. Bungie apologized and compensated the artist.
I'm laughing now because people that defend Bungie, I'm sorry, you're morons and you deserve to get taken money and advantage of. You do. Right? I understand people play games and they're like, well, I really don't care about this type of stuff. Great. Then don't say anything. Don't defend them. Just consume and eat the stuff. Right? Just consume it. Just eat it. It's fine. No one's mad at you. But if you come out and defend this company, knowing that this is happening, you still don't care, we don't care that you don't care. Just don't talk.
In 2024, there was a Nerf incident by Tofu Rabbit. They copied the design for the Nerf replica, and they were in contact to compensate and credit. And in 2025, this marathon issue happened where there was another issue with...
Eclipse says, they figure the masses have goldfish brain and wouldn't remember 2017, and they forgot the internet never forgets. That's right. The internet is the problem and yet the savior, because anyone can steal anything from anybody, but the internet also can find out who stole that thing. I want names. Because if I'm a artist that's hiring artists, I should say, if I'm working for Ubisoft or Microsoft or for any other studio out there, I want to know who stole. Right? If I work at a news outlet and I found someone plagiarizing, I want to know who plagiarized because I want to make sure that person never works in the business again because they can't be trusted, right? I do not want someone that steals art to be an artist that I hire for my company. So put the name out there. Let everyone know that that person is a scumbag. Not creative. And if they are, they couldn't come up with something, buckled under pressure, took someone else's work to submit it as their own.
Assets quite clearly being one-to-one. Now let's talk about Reed, who made a comment back in 2024 when Tofu Rabbit made their comment. He said, I don't think I've ever talked about it publicly, but this isn't the first time this has happened. I had my work ripped off in 2012.
Look at this. I don't think that's ever talked about publicly. The first time was also I had my work ripped off in 2012 when a concept from Destiny leaked. Bro, I didn't even know about this one. They stole someone else's concept art and just passed it off for their own. 2012. We're talking about 13 years.
Well, when concepts from Destiny leaked. So way back in 2012, this internal slide was released about Destiny, and it utilized this guy's artwork in the concept art. This was never supposed to be seen by the public. They were going to
They retooled his artwork. It wasn't supposed to be seen.
Place the artwork of the game. Then Tofu Rabbit comes along. This was posted in 2024. Hey,
2024 commission I did in 2015. This is the guy who was in the charts. Straight up, 1-for-1.
Bungie and everybody else. So the Nerf Ace of Spades directly lifts a commission I did in 2015. This is not similar or a coincidence. You can see my name, my same brush strokes and scratches / smudges. So that is example 2. And there's more. Don't worry.
I like how he laughed. He's like, hey, there's more.
Here's the example that was listed earlier. Julian said, I just realized Bungie took inspiration from my piece for this week's cutscene.
Oh my God, dude. They took inspiration from their piece. These people are bankrupts. They have no creative vision whatsoever. They just take someone else's work. Look at it. Look at it.
Certainly took me by surprise when I watched the cutscene. There is also the Red War allegations, where a writer has discussed that they believe that Bungie utilized their story to create the Red War story, which is now no longer available because they sunset it in their game.
Hold on a second. Did you see what he did with his eyebrows there? Hold on a second. Let's rewind that for a second. Watch what Destin does with his eyebrows as he says the line about Red War.
Has discussed that they believe that Bungie utilized their story to create the Red War story, which is now no longer available because they sunset it in
because they sunsetted. Why? Why would they sunset that story? I know. It's because it was just too big. They couldn't fit it in the game anymore. They just couldn't fit it. No, they had to get rid of the fucking evidence. Who's running stuff at Bungie? Is it Hillary Clinton? Like, what is happening?
In their game. To Bungie's credit, they have responded to the story we're talking about today and stories in the past. Destiny 2 team responding to Tofu Bunny. This is back in 2024. We are currently investigating internally and with our...
Hold on a second. Who's responding to them?
Today and stories in the past. Destiny 2 team responding to Tofu Bunny. This is back in 2024. We are currently investigating internally and with our partner. We are in contact with the artist and will share more on what next steps we are taking once...
The next steps are, did you steal this from this artist? Yes. Great. You're being sued. This person's being compensated for the money that you gave the person that submitted the stuff. This person's being compensated with that money. And on top of that, they're also being used and getting paid a little bit more because you stole their shit. You didn't steal their shit. The artist that you hired stole their shit, and you posted it without double checking.
We have gathered more information. Okay, great.
What's going on,
It's
Alien?
good to know that they are working with that particular artist. In addition to that, the artist I mentioned before commented, hey, I'm the artist whose artwork was used for the Witness cutscene from last year. It's been a year.
It's been a year. You're waiting for the compensation that you said will be given. It's been a year. It's been a year.
And I'm still waiting for that compensation that you said will be given. Haven't heard a word since. Cosmo, to his credit, said, hey, sorry this got missed.
What do you mean to his credit? Hey, sorry, it got missed. What do you mean it got missed? How many people are you stealing from that you lost this person's stolen artwork from? What are we talking about? How many things behind the scenes are happening that is a shit show that this went under the rug to go, oh, sorry, this one got missed. Oh, sorry, this got missed. How many people are you stealing from, Bungie? How many fires are you putting out without us knowing? I mean, we shouldn't know about this, by the way. We shouldn't know about this, but we do now. So now the floodgates are open because now it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Going far back as 2012. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure they're not doing this again. I'm sure they haven't stole more than 5 times.
Missed. I shot you an email. Hit me back there or DM here and we will track this down for you. Do you see where I'm going with this story yet? This is a pattern. Reed said Bungie offered compensation to the artist they took work from, but it turns out there's another person whose work was taken.
Bro. I feel so bad for these artists, but I feel so good that since 2016, I said I don't like Bungie. I don't like them. They're a bunch of scumbags. And here they are. Here they are proving that they are scumbags.
And used that they also offered compensation, but they never followed through. Come on, Bungie, Destiny 2 team, what's going on here? And that was the artist whose concept art was utilized in the internal documentation. It's really, really interesting that this keeps happening. Some people have also talked about this Forbes story where Destiny 2 used Zivu Arath fan art for...
This is from 2021. The fan art for a new Witch Queen trailer.
This was written by Paul Tassi. And Relay had made this artwork, and basically their artwork was...
No, they didn't steal it. They took it and put it underneath a piece of paper, and then they traced it. So that way the person that drew it actually drew it.
It was used. It was straight up used in the cutscene. Bungie even responded to this story saying...
Hold on a second. I saw something there from Cosmo at the bottom.
In the cutscene. Bungie...
It says, there was a mix-up when creating this post and Relay 314's art was accidentally used. Do we really think it was accidentally used? Why was it used at all? Why was it even there? What do we mean, accidentally used? We have reached out to them and got permission to use their work, as now crediting them for the awesome community. What would you have done if nobody noticed? What would you have done if the person that said, hey, that's my work, never reached out? Do you see what I'm saying? The only reason they're reacting is because they were caught. Otherwise, they would have said, shit.
He even responded to this story saying, that is not the post that we're getting to. We're going to get to that in a second. There was a mix-up when creating this post, and Relay's art was accidentally used. Another confirmation from a Bungie employee. We have reached out to them and got permission to use their work and are now crediting them for this awesome community depiction of Z.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's give them a round of applause for reaching out to the artist you originally stole from and used it in a piece of property that you were looking to make money from. Congratulations for not being such a scumbag. The fuck are we talking about? You were trying to take this person's work and not credit them and not pay them. And you know what? A lot of artists are struggling artists, right? Because, look, it's really easy to steal someone's art than make art, okay? And these people are so small that they can't say anything because it's an honor. Disney's built their entire business model off this. It's an honor to work for Disney, and we won't pay you. Okay, it's an honor to work for Bungie. Oh my God, as a small artist, they're using one of my pieces of art. Oh, I feel so honored. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much. But meanwhile, they're paying you shit, give you credit, and they make millions and pay you zero.
Arath. Thanks so much for reaching out to me over the weekend and being an absolute gem of a community manager, Cosmo. Now let's go back to the marathon example. That artist's work is prevalent throughout the entire design of the game.
You know what I just thought of? God, I hope these artists that create these microtransactions for Fortnite and Call of Duty and all these other places, man, I hope they get paid and they get royalties, but probably not. The artist sits there and says, oh no, you could pay me my $200 and $300 a day. And then they go, oh, it's going to take me a week to do it. They get paid, whatever, $1,500, $1,700. And then they go on to make $1 million off of that one piece. I would love to know if you are an artist out there that's done any kind of microtransactions for skins for any company, and you happen to come across this video at this a moment of time, okay? I would love to know if you get a residual or a royalty of any kind of sort of each one that sells.
This has soured sentiment in the community, and it has brought up questions about their usage of AI and concerns about Bungie, generally speaking. This is from Exputer, who said Bungie is hiring employees to use generative AI in their games.
Bungie is hiring employees to use generative AI in their games.
The studio will become one of the first for embracing such a drastic change. Now, this was written back in 2023, and notice a lot of these stories are from 2024, with the exception of the concept art of the original Destiny. The confirmed job listing has now been deleted. AI tech has also started seeping into the gaming industry.
House says you have to ask for royalties. I hate to tell you this, House. They probably don't even offer them, okay? Even if you ask to be like, no, we don't give royalties. How much you want to bet a company says, oh, no, we don't give royalties? And you're like, well, I'm a starving artist. Yeah, I'll just take the money. That's fine. How much you want to bet they don't even offer royalties, regardless if you ask or not?
With some studios already beginning to embrace and use it in controversial ways. Bungie has recently started hiring employees with an expertise in generative AI tech to use in its projects. As initially spotted by the Game Post, the job listing dubbed Generative AI Lead Tools Engineer seeks to hire each to partner with other devs and utilize the Gen AI models in its.
Well, it's different. You can't get royalties if you're not above the line. Above the line actors and producer, director only get royalties. They don't give royalties for everybody. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine if I got royalties for everything that I filmed? Because of I'm literally pointing the camera at every single shot. Do you think I get royalties for all the movies that I've done or television shows I've worked on? Fuck no. I can't even negotiate. But at the same time, they're not microtransactioning my work, right? They're just putting it out in theaters and it gets money. And then when they put it on DVD, it makes money. I don't get royalties off that. Okay. But microtransactions, and they're literally just selling the skin. You would hope that they can negotiate their sales for royalties for that. But companies don't want to do that because they want all the money. They're greedy. Corporations want all the money. They don't want all the money just from the customers. They want to make sure that the people that are working for them, they also don't get that much money because they need them.
Projects. Now, I don't know whatever came of that. I'm not alluding to anything there. I'm just saying this was also something that came up in the post. So the reaction to all of this, well, let's go back to Reed here. He said, ever notice how it's always an outside party or someone who no longer works there when it comes to this stuff? Bungie is notorious for art theft at this point. It's absolutely unreal. It's happening again.
What should happen right now is that nobody, if you're an artist and you want to make your big break and you're like, oh my God, Bungie's hiring. No. Go work somewhere else. Okay? Don't do anything. Blackball the company, right? Because they'll blacklist you, no problem. Blackball the company. If you're an artist, do not work or make any stuff for them. Watch what happens.
And just so we are clear, I want you all to know that I did reach out to comment before recording this video, as I always do. The email reads as follows. Hi, I wanted to reach out directly to ask if any official comment beyond the x.com and Discord post is being offered at this time. I tuned into the stream today and heard Joe mention that outreach is being made to make it right. Can you confirm whether that action has taken place? I'm asking if they've made contact yet. Separately, I'm looking into the earlier...
Oh, Z, I know the answer, right? Z's saying no one's getting paid per piece after the fact. Right, I know I know that's how it works. Hence why I asked the question if you are getting paid royalties, because I know 100% because I've worked in the industry for the film industry and I know how shit works. Okay, where they don't pay you, right? This is why the musicians had to fight so hard to get royalties off of each music that was being played. Okay, they don't pay you because they'll be like, well, we're going to be using your work, and if your work will be known, and you can put us on your resume. They use it against you, right? They'll be like, well, we could sell a lot or we could not sell them any, right? And what they could do, real simple, is that, oh, well, you'll get paid this amount of money for this time frame. Well, guess what? They don't put it out right away, or they don't promote it because they know they'll make money from it down the road, but they won't launch it right away because they don't want to pay out the person, right? So you could get money up front, or you could take money in the back end, but you're not getting that much money up front. You could roll the dice and see. Well, guess what? You're screwed either way because the house always wins.
Your allegations regarding the use of Ziva Wrath artwork in 2021, has a settlement been reached with the creators involved, including Reed, Tofu Rabbit, Julian, and Mal-E? I understand this isn't an easy topic, but I'm doing my due diligence here. I reached out about the Unreal story, got no comment. I reached out about this story, and I expect no comment. That's just what you can expect a lot of times with these cases. And what I really want
Amazing. No comment because they're guilty. And then they wait for it to just pass over. And then people forget because they're goldfish brains.
to know is they have publicly said that they have reached out to this creator, but we have several examples where they did the same thing but didn't follow through. So
Because they don't have to. They don't have to answer to anybody. This is just public. They wait for it to go away and they move on with their life. Because what is the independent developer, or I'm sorry, independent artist going to do to a mega multi-billion-dollar corporation? Nothing. Nothing.
So if any creator has,
And even if they take them to court, they won't even get to the court. They'll be like, oh, whatever. Here you go. Here's 2 free tickets to a basketball game, and here's your compensation for your time. Sorry about that.
found themselves in this situation,
They'll settle out of court.
and I did reach out to all the creators who asked, hey, did this ever actually get solved, or was it just public platitudes? I want to know the answer to that question. Paul says, showing another example, and this is like littered all over Marathon right now. You know what? We're going to do this live. I wonder if their website is still live like now. Marathonthegame.com. Let's see.
Sony ain't saying shit. Sony ain't saying shit, House, because Sony's like, we didn't know any of this was going on. It's already been proven that Bungie was doing this before Sony took them over. Sony's like, quiet. I posted something in Discord. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, right? That's what Sony's doing. Sony's doing nothing. They're pretending they don't hear it, they're pretending they don't see it, and they're not going to say a fucking thing.
It looks a little different. I think they had that pattern, and you can see it during the transitions actually on the website where the pattern is going to be shown. Can I pause this? And I bet if we watch this trailer, we're also going to see all of those art assets that the creator has flagged as being utilized in
Z says, resume, artwork used on Bungie game doesn't pay my bills.
in their trailer. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, there it is. There.
Look, that it's on their website still, at least 2 days ago from this video's been out.
There's the pattern that they're being accused of utilizing. And if you go back to Paul's original tweet, we can actually get a look at it. So there's the circles, there's the squares, there's the circles, there's the squares.
It's amazing, man. Krabby says Sony just letting them bang themselves when they come in to take over the company. That's right. They're just staying quiet. This is just more fuel in the fire.
Like we're watching it happen in real time. So they need to scrub the website. They need to go through all of these little design things that they've added to the game.
Like, I'm not saying this is it, but they could literally, like the stuff that's on the guns, like the guns could have artwork that's printed on the guns. They have to scrub this entire game, right? That little design on the ground could be something that was stolen from someone else. They have to go through with a fine-tooth comb to make sure nothing else is out there before they release this game.
To make sure that they haven't used anything from this creator, it's going to be a massive undertaking. So the community reaction has been sour, to say the least. There's another example from Paul.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's a same thing. They didn't even change the fucking thing. I've had talks in the past about you could take something, because we talked about Street Fighter. Street Fighter literally stole someone's artwork and did it 1-to-1. Okay. And I was like, if you're gonna take something, you got to change it. Like, I think it's like 7 or 8 different ways to make it like your own type of thing. What's the change? The color? They made it from black to green. Congratulations. Same font, same style, same exact design, same thing. Everything's the same. They just copy pasted.
Bungie stealing Marathon art is probably the last straw. You know, I'm not even halfway through this story yet, and I feel like I'm done beating the dead horse already. But let's continue.
Keep beating it. Keep beating it, Destin.
Shall we? Anna Mensis mentions that some of the music also sounds somewhat similar. I don't know if that one holds a lot of water, but there was also an interview that Gene Park did over at the Washington Post that I thought was superb.
Oh, that's another thing. Gene's the only one to actually talk to the artist.
She said, is covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. And all of the creators, by the way, so Joe Cross and everybody, they follow this creator and have for a few years. Now, I'm not saying all of the aesthetic elements have been lifted, but they have admitted to this mistake happening and they have dismissed the person in question. I don't know how Marathon ever comes back from this. I think this allegation is going to linger. I cannot personally.
I think it's done. I think Marathon is, it doesn't matter if they delay it, fix it, it's done. Bungie, if this was the first oops type of thing, then I think people would just forget about it. Obviously, the people that just play the games and never ever look up any of this news story, they don't even know that's going on. Those people are still going to buy the game and still going to like the game. They're still going to do the stuff. Okay? The people that actually do follow this stuff and go, it doesn't really matter. I really don't care what they do on their own time or whatever. I'm still, as long as the game's fun, I'm okay. But the goodwill is gone. Bungie is gone, right? Bungie was protected. Bungie could do no wrong. And look, the evidence is there, okay? Bungie has been stealing artwork since before Destiny 1 came out. And yet, here we are, 13 years later, and they're fine, okay? The goodwill is completely gone. Marathon, because of Marathon being used again, not going back to what Marathon was and changing it to an extraction shooter, because they're not supporting Destiny and making Destiny 3 what the fans want, because there's no PvE, because there's no proximity chat, because there's none of this, it's all just piling up. It's all just piling up on Marathon. And Sony right now is going, holy shit, what are we going to do? Because Sony needs this game to come out.
Look at Marathon without seeing this other creator's work now. Marathon gameplay, she said, she very quickly began to spot her work. Hook's futuristic iconography and font designs are posted on social media sites such as Tumblr and X as far back as 2017, and similar features are seen all over the environment and objects within Marathon. She pointed out the similarities through her social media on Thursday.
I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, right? Like, all of a sudden, you're playing the game, maybe you're interested in the game, maybe someone told you about it, and they're like, hey, I think I saw your artwork. And you're like, what? And then all of a sudden, you start playing the game, and you start seeing your artwork in the game, and you're like, I could feel her, like, heart drop, right? And again, I don't know if this is what happened, but if it was me, and all of a sudden I saw that this company had my artwork in their game, and they didn't credit me, I didn't get a paycheck, I don't have any fucking money in my bank account because they didn't contact me, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's just one thing, but then it's another thing, then it's another thing, then it's another thing, that's plastered all over the place, right? It's on the buildings, it's on the guns, it's on the floor, it's in the marketing material, right? It's on their website, and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? Right? This company's gigantic. I'm a person that has a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't know if this is what she has. Okay, like you're like, I can't go against. This is David versus Goliath. You can't go up against them. You're like, what do I do? And they're just like, it's okay. We'll reach out to them.
It was kind of vindicating to see direct plagiarism because it meant I wasn't crazy for feeling so uncomfortable with the overall direction, Hook told the Washington Post. I keep quiet about it because I was advised to seek legal action, but I don't have enough time or money to fly to the U.S. to pursue an unwinnable court case against.
That's another thing. She's not even from the U.S., right? So this is a U.S. company stealing a foreigner's artwork, assets, and putting him in the game and not crediting him. That's not doing anything. They thought they could get away with this. 100% thought they could get away with this, right? And if they didn't think they could get away with it, the artists that stole their work thought they could get away with this.
Sony, and that's who they'd be going up against, really. Hook said this is also not the first time she has seen her work lifted, and she has made posts over the years alleging other organizations tracing and lifting her work. She said she relies on donations from her various online projects, and this recent incident has seen hundreds of people donating money in support. That is great. I'd kind of had to learn to shut up about these cases because
That's terrible. I know exactly where she's coming from, right? When I worked for a reality show, okay, hell, fucking Twitch stole from me as well, okay, because they were taking ideas, okay? This is back in like 2014, 2015. I had ideas for TV shows and stuff like that, and I had an idea. Twitch stole one of my ideas. The reality shows stole my ideas, and what they could do, super simple. Art is a little different, okay? Because an idea is an idea. If you have it written down, you have it written down or whatnot. But you could submit your idea, okay? And they could take it and go, we may or may not already have this idea already submitted to us, okay? That's how they get around it in the reality world and in Hollywood and television shows. But you could submit it, because if they don't, maybe they'll give you credit. Maybe they'll bring you in. Maybe they'll bring you on board. But for the most part, they won't. Some scumbag producer out there will take your shit, make it their own because they have the connections, and they'll run with it.
because they've happened so constantly over the past 10 years, she said.
Right? It says, this kind of thing I had to learn to shut up about in the cases because they've happened so constantly over the past 10 years. That is terrible, but I know exactly where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. And you know what? You're right. You can't do anything. I was trying to be viewed as someone who complains more than an artist. But the response this time has been overwhelmingly understanding and extremely thankful for the support. Do you know why? It's because they did this 4 times before you.
It was tiring to be viewed as someone who complains more than as an artist, but the response this time has been overwhelmingly understanding, and I'm extremely thankful for the support. I am glad to hear that they are getting support because they deserve it. The community sentiment, however, is in the toilet. Here's Ethan Gatz from Kotaku. I don't think Marathon is cooked, which probably puts me in the minority at this point, but it does feel like there is a growing chasm between between what players are worried about and how Bungie talks about those things.
They don't even know what to do with proximity chat. They were told to put single-player games 4 years ago, and they haven't done it.
Ethan is the most optimistic post that I could find, which is why I used it. My name is Bife, known for doing Destiny lore, simply tweeted, delay it.
These are fans. These are fans that love Bungie so much that they're like, well, no, just delay it, because they know by saying delay it, meaning that time will heal and you could come out with the game and then we'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. No, fuck you. Bring it out. Doesn't matter if you delay it. I'll remember. And don't forget, I don't care if it comes out 6 months from now. I don't care if it comes out a year and a half from now. I will make sure that everyone knows that they're the exact same company they've been since I found out about them, who they were, their true colors in 2016. Okay?
I absolutely agree. Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming said Bungie has got to take Marathon back to the drawing board, quite literally, because they need to recreate.
World says Bife's whole income is Destiny lore. No way he's saying scrap it. That's right. Got it. I need content.
Or build a ton of assets. Pirate Software said, been seeing this as an official response from Bungie on stolen art appearing throughout Marathon. They posted it on a side account that has no golden check mark.
A side account. That's what they think about this. They're like, don't worry, just put it out in post so we have it out there. Right? Marathon dev team. Not on the main account. Not on the main account. On the side account. We immediately investigated the concerns regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and have confirmed that a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet and was ultimately used in-game.
Attribution or connection anywhere outside of a tweet from April 23rd. My goodness. Yeah, I've said this for a while now, but the more we see and hear, the less I think it will actually make a difference, says Paul Tassi. And just real quick about what they talked about in the stream, he says, it was good to address it directly, but the statement is the tweets.
The only reason they addressed it is because they were caught red-handed. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said shit.
Expanded, really. Community likely cannot be swayed at this point. Alpha feedback stuff does not seem terribly impactful for those on the fence. Entire stream deeply uncomfortable. They were incredibly uncomfortable during the entirety of the stream. Even AI could tell it was uncomfortable. This is a viewer who was watching and got the AI synopsis. Viewers are expressing disappointment, frustration, and skepticism.
Oh, sorry. I was reading ahead as a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. So this is the AI that happens, like when you pop into someone's YouTube channel, it'll say like a synopsis of what's happening. Oh man, it says viewers are expressing disappointment, frustration, and skepticism regarding Bungie's response to the plagiarism. Okay, controversy surrounding their upcoming game Concord 2.0. Bro, the AI knows that this game is done. Okay, many are criticizing Bungie for repeatedly engaging in art theft and lack of transparency are considered about the game's future success and Bungie's reputation. Like, the AI called it Concord 2.0.
Regarding Bungie's response to the plagiarism controversy surrounding their upcoming game Concord 2.0.
Destin's even laughing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be professional. I didn't know that the AI came up with that. Many are criticizing Bungie for
fucking base take by the AI. Base take. The AI called it Concord 2.0.
Repeatedly engaging in art theft and lack of transparency and are concerned about the game's future success and Bungie's reputation. I should have read that ahead of time.
No, it's perfect, Destin. It's fantastic.
Because I read it live. I didn't realize that that's what it said, but a lot of people are worried that, yes, we are marching towards Concord 2.
Oh, I just snorted. That's fucking great. That's fucking great.
2.0. And when asked during a live stream riddled with technical problems about proximity chat, Bungie said they're still trying to figure out how to implement it, something they had addressed in the past, and what their version of it would be like. Your version of it should just be proximity chat. Stop.
That's right. Listen to what he just said. Let me back up a couple.
About proximity chat, Bungie said they're still trying to figure out how to implement it, something they had addressed in the past, and what their version of it would be like. Your version of it should just be proximity chat.
Yeah, you don't need to change the wheel. Just put proximity chat in proximity chat.
Stop overthinking it. Add it to the game. That's my advice, free of charge. And please, I will help you for free with your...
No. Do not help them for free, Destin. Stop it. What are we talking about? No. This is a multi-billion-dollar company. You don't give them anything for free.
Discord call, audio technical issues.
No.
If you ever...
They have been around and been on the internet since they came in with Twitch. They have their own Twitch channel. They've been around for a fucking decade plus. They had audio issues because they're fucking morons.
Need it. But I have a feeling I'm not going to be on the good guy list in the near future. What a story. It has been just so...
Did you guys watch the stream? They had 4 channels, and yet some were muted. Some had bad audio. They couldn't cut to the things. They didn't know how to use Discord. The audio cut out. Like... I'm a one-man show. That shit happens to me, right? Right? Audio stuff happens, but there was multiple things that happened in their stream. Like, what are we talking about? It's a multi-billion-dollar company, but they don't want to rent someone to come in to help them with audio just to help them figure it out. Then why don't you figure it out before you go live?
So many things happening in regards to this story, and the past allegations are saddening to see from a studio that I really care about. They made some of my favorite games, and this really gives them a mountain to climb yet again. It was all over their face the entire live stream. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do greatly appreciate it. I appreciate the members. If you want to support my work, you can do so at patreon.com/SaveStatePlus, or you can become a member on YouTube. Big shout out to Christopher Eddy, Phil Aroni, Spingetter, and Aries EMS. I'm going to get out of here, but if you want to actually check out the Unity story that Dean Hall...
That's all set up, though. I mean, come on. Him saying, oh, I'm probably no longer on the good guys list. What, for reporting the news? Hey, if he gets blacklisted, fuck him. Fuck him. Right? Report the news. If he wants to report the news and be an actual journalist, which he is because he's going on his own, hence why there's supporters, right? Then report the news. Don't worry about it if you're getting access to them. Just report the fucking news. I'm an entertainment channel, right? He's a news channel. Okay? Just tell the news. Don't worry if you're on the good side or bad side.
Is making some accusations against Unity about. You can check that out down there. Hopefully Unity actually gets back to me. I would love to update that one with hopefully some good news as that deadline has approached. I'm going to see you for the next one. Bye.
All right. Sometimes, man, I'm sorry. I've been done with Bungie. Okay? I don't care. I don't care if they succeed. Okay? I don't care if they crash and burn. I don't care. Don't care. All right. Let's go to the next topic, which is still Bungie. It's a heavy Bungie marathon show because that's basically what happened over the weekend. All right, so the new marathon, Bungie info, Bungie's morale, launch worries, and changing plans. This is from Paul Tassi from Forbes. Okay, if you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We are trying to hit 3,000 subscribers. So if you are new and you're watching this after the fact, and you would like to help us get to 3,000 subscribers, hit that subscribe button. All right, so chaos has engulfed Bungie after the artist Anti-Real came forward to accuse Bungie. It's not accuse. It's fucking facts. It's facts. Bungie of ripping off her 2017 work as an upcoming extraction shooter of Marathon was starting to also take shape in early 2018. Bungie admitted that to the plagiarism, right? So accused Bungie, and Bungie admitted. So can we just get rid of this? Can we get rid of the accuse? Bungie admitted to the plagiarism, supposedly to work on one of the ex-artists and promised to make things right. But the story gained traction amongst gaming outlets and reaction streamers alike, and it's poisoned the previous positive conversations about the aesthetics of the game. But all this is happening after another not great time period of Marathon in the last few weeks, starting with the gameplay reveal and also the closed alpha, both in which received mostly mixed and negative feedback. A live stream on Friday addressed both the art plagiarism and the alpha feedback in what ended up being the most uncomfortable on-camera offerings I've ever seen from the studio. I mean, I would go farther in saying the most uncomfortable thing. And I used to watch Crystal Dynamics with the Marvel streams, and those never got that uncomfortable, and all they would have to say is, "Oh, we'll look into it. We'll look into it." Right? Like, if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you watch those Marvel streams back in the day with Crystal Dynamics, those were awkward. This was epic. This was an epic awkwardness from Bungie. Okay, I've spoken to some current and former employees at Bungie, excused for the art theft, studio morale, and possibility of the delay of some of the very real changes when it comes to the upcoming presentation and playtesting of the game. Here's what I've learned. It says, the public explanation for the art theft, one ex-employee taking things to 2020, and the same one being given internally at Bungie amongst the rank and file. It says Sony and Bungie legal are now sorting through the entire unlikely to have any as much of new information at all with it continues to unfold. This is not clear on how long an audit will take for these assets and remove to find other more plagiarism, as it's an expansive enough process to have Bungie not even show any footage of at all in the recent live stream. It says the morale is in freefall across all departments, and the vibes have ever been worse. Everyone has also the same concerns about what happens to Bungie as a studio if Marathon bombs, which is something they've absolutely cannot afford. I mean, you laid in your bed. right? You made your bed. Now you have to lie in it. Okay? Now, obviously, there's hundreds, thousands of people, right? Maybe over 1,000 people that work at Bungie. I'm not saying everyone's an art theft, okay? But the fact that one person, right? You're only as good as your weakest link, and the weakest link on your team stole artwork, and there's multiple of you over the years that stole stuff, so much so you're in a lawsuit right now for the Red War, okay? And then other assets that you haven't paid for. And upper management not only failed once, not twice, not 3 times, right? I could actually use that sign from Fifth Element. 4 stones, 4 crates, 0 stones, 0 crates. Like they stole 4 times. Okay? 5 times that we know of. There are not even hints or jokes about the delay from September release date internally. Okay? There are not even hints or jokes about delay. Yeah. Full steam ahead. Choo choo. Right? They are full steam ahead because, look, remember the last game that, now, obviously, Sony didn't make No Man's Sky, but I'm going to bring up No Man's Sky for a second here, right? They didn't make No Man's Sky, but they heavily invested in No Man's Sky for a 2-year exclusive, and they needed that game to launch at that time frame, and they put Sean Murray on the train and shoved him out and said, don't worry about it, we'll fix it later. And then we know the story of No Man's Sky. Great turnaround and stuff like that, okay? This is not a No Man's Sky situation as far as the game is going to come back and make a huge success, right? Because as extraction shooters are going to come and go, there'll be 5 other ones in 7 years. Sony needs this to work, and they're going to try to force it out. I said this before the artwork was even stolen, right? I believe that they're not going to delay it. I can see them delaying it, but I don't think they are. I think they're going to go full steam ahead, throw it out there, okay, and try to get it out there as fast as possible. Because if they delay it to next year, they're done. But if they put it out this year, it might be a rough start, but they can slowly add things to make it better, like a proximity chat. People are like, oh my God, it's got a proximity chat. And then they can go actually maybe come back and play the game, right? But if they don't bring it out this year, they are done. They are done. They're not even hints or jokes about the delay of September release and date internally. With that said, it is entirely possible, if not likely, those conversations are happening privately between higher-up in Sony and Bungie leadership. It's unclear that they plan to launch the game in now actively hostile environment just a few months from now, or now to turn that around. Okay? So some changes on future plans had been made even before the new plagiarism development, mainly the restriction of gameplay footage and now the closed alpha. At the start of the month, here's another thing. Imagine if it was a closed alpha instead of opening it up at the last second. If it was a closed alpha, maybe this artist doesn't even see this stuff, right? Because remember, there was NDA, and no one could share anything. And only a couple days before this came out in alpha, they said, oh, you know what? We're opening it up. We're opening it up to everybody. And then the player base went down and down and down and day after day after day, while Arc Raiders went up and up and up every day. But if they kept it a closed alpha, we still might not know about this. And you better believe your ass that they wouldn't have said anything. It says heavily marked as public beta in August may also be changed into roadmap of the public playtest with no actual details set yet. This also would allow to Bungie's state multiple opportunities to play before launch rather than just upcoming beta. Marathon was originally pitched by a higher-up, good old boy Bungie leadership, and as far as back as 5 years ago, devs were telling them that they wouldn't work and were also often ignored. Many have said that previously that they needed to have some sort of PvE component. Imagine that. Imagine as far back as 4 to 5 years ago, okay, that they said they should have a PvE or solos in there, and yet they're like, nah. All this between necessary asset auditing, a reworked marketing campaign, and shifting playtest plans screams of the game that is coming out in 4 months. Or at the very least, it shouldn't be, though there are also no indicators that of that yet. However, at this point, it may be the case that another 3, 6, or 12 months would not fix this at what ails the game, which is more than just a presentation of some playtesting. But for many of the question's core concepts wrapped extremely cool aesthetics, but now there's also a lost last bit of praise point as well. Okay, so look, this right here still stands. Okay, this still stands right here. 3, 6, and 12 months would not fix the ails the game. That's right. That's why I believe that it comes out in September just like it was supposed to, because it doesn't matter if it's 3, 6, or 12 months. They're still going to be doing the 3 to 6 to 12 months fixing this game when it comes out. It's a live service game. It's a microtransaction-filled game. Sony needs it to work. Concord failed. If Concord didn't fail, then this could get delayed. But because Concord failed, they need this game to come out. They need this game to come out. They've canceled so many games because of Bungie. Think about this now. Sony has invested $3.6 billion into this company. And yet now they've already shifted where Factions wasn't coming out. They canceled a couple of other games because Bungie, remember, they said that Bungie, everything goes through Bungie. Bungie has to give it the thumbs up. They have to give it the okay if it's going to be good or not. And here we are. I wonder, pardon me here, coming up with just a thought process. I just thought about this. What if Bungie canceled all these other ones because they needed their game to succeed? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they could have brought out Factions. They could have brought out all these other multiplayer things, but if they did, then they wouldn't have a lot of interest in what they're doing. So they said that these are bad to prop up their own game and said, this is going to be the best game, Sony. Wait for it. You can't wait. This is going to be so good. And then all of a sudden, now all of this is, the house of cards is falling down. Bungie's not the best business people, okay? Obviously, they screwed up with Microsoft. They screwed up with Activision. They screwed up on their own. They couldn't afford being on themselves. And then they needed to be bailed out, and Sony came in and saved them. Or is it like a Trojan horse and Bungie just tried to fuck Sony over? I don't know. There's a lot going on here. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think is going to happen to Marathon after listening to Destin Laguirre video and also Paul Tassie's article here? What do you think? Do you think they delay? Do you think they come out like nothing's ever happened? Do you think they just kind of push it underneath the rug and they're like, oh, yeah, we're already working with that. We've already gone in and fixed everything. Gameplay is fantastic. And, oh, by the way, we're bringing proximity chat in. Ooh. Proximity chat. Okay, let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of other videos. Thanks for watching. Day says, just bury Marathon next to Concord. I mean, even the AI said that it's Concord 2.0. Could you imagine if Marathon lasts less than, they cancel it faster than Concord? I can't. 12 days is a hell of a time to beat. I'm not going to say ever. Never say never. But that would be that would be terrible if they had to cancel 2 of their things within 12 days. World says, imagine how many people will hesitate to buy microtransactions now because they won't all this will be taken away. It's a lot of think. I'm sorry. If not, a lot to think this is. They also need to put in a blast so it happens. I didn't even think about that, Worlds. So the microtransactions that they put in the game, because that's how they're making money off of it, right? Well, they're charging the $40, $50. Now do they make it free to play for the goodwill? They're like, well, no one's going to buy the game now, so do we have to make it free to play? And then they pay for microtransactions, and now people are really like, well, I don't really want to buy the microtransactions. We don't know if this game's going to last. It's good. That's a good possibility. Robert Jones says they will pay the artists and do an NDA. Oh, for sure. Well, they do NDAs regardless. Waterbear says, I don't think proximity chat would save this game at this point. They should have just made a PvE mode similar to the Helldivers, and they also need PvP later. I think they'll use the PvE stuff as a selling point later. I do. I think they'll just use it later to kind of bring, because if they put it all in the beginning now, Water, they're done. They have to leave it. They have to leave stuff off, and then add stuff to bring people back in. Hal says, I think more people need to research Koopa Hosk and their other influences for the art style. Most of Anti-Real's work is the text on walls and vehicles. House, I think you're missing the point. I don't think the people that give a shit if one company made the the entire artwork of the game, the aesthetics of the game. The problem is that Bungie is thieves, and they've stole multiple times over a decade from people, right? It doesn't matter what that studio did for the artwork. Has nothing to do with it. They did their job. They have the artwork in the game. The problem is Bungie stealing artwork and then putting it in the game. That's the problem. Mo says delay it to 2027 or cancel. I think they have to get it out. If they delay it, it's not going anywhere. Aku says, isn't it funny how Bungie has screwed people over time and time again, especially with Destiny 2, and now they're getting right. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Yeah, it's just stupid to me. Right? That they can keep doing this over and over and over. Minimal viable product. This is 100% minimal viable product. So much so that they're not even checking their work. They're just putting it in there. Eclipse says they're taking artwork from a damn independent artist and not giving them any money. Why are you defending them? Yeah, it's weird to me. They took multiple people's artwork, though. This particular one for Marathon, but other ones in the past for Destiny 2. Oh, absolutely, Krebsy. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to have a massive problem when it comes out. But I think what happens is if they delay it, it's done. It's like, here, I'll compare it to Ironheart. Ironheart was filmed in 2021. It was done, in the can. And now they're releasing it. That's done. They delayed it, and now it's releasing. It's done before it comes out. Okay? That's Marathon right now. Marathon, they could delay it, and they could come out in 2027 like Mo's saying. But that game is done. People have moved on already. The majority of the population's like, what have you done for me lately? What's the next greatest thing? There's an extraction shooter coming out, Arc Raiders. Boom, done. Right? The day before, the most overhyped game in the history, best pre-order wishlist game on Steam, was out for 4 days. Studio closed down. People moved on real quick to Once Human. It was there to catch it. They moved on. Later, day before, or day after, what the fuck was it called? I don't even know. Brainchild says Ironheart hopefully will fail worse than Concord. I'm sure they'll come out. I'm sure, Brainchild, and they'll say that it's the best Marvel show since the last best Marvel show, and that ratings are through the roof. It's the best Marvel show on Disney Plus today. You have to watch it. And then shortly after that, they'll tell everybody that misogynistic people are not watching the show because it's a woman. I'm sure. Not because it's a bad show, not because it has no interest in that character, but I'm sure they'll tell you that it's the most popular show and then it failed because of the misogynists. World says the game can release, but how many have already said, I'm not buying this from this situation? Plus, those who dedicate this or decided the same before. Honestly, I don't think they should release it. I just think, where do you release it if you release it next year? Grand Theft Auto comes out May. Right? Where do you come out? What are you going to release it? Where? There's going to be like other games that are already out. They're going to have new season passes. They're going to have DLCs. There's going to be brand new games coming out that people are excited for. Grand Theft Auto is going to be out. Grand Theft Auto Online is going to be out by that time. Where are they going? No one. They will make more money off Grand Theft Auto Online on PlayStation than they will make from the percentage that they get than they would actually make from their own game that they're producing it. Right? I think you put it out. You put it out now because you're going to have some people are going to buy the game And then you'll make cosmetics because there are still fans out there for Bungie that don't ever watch the news. They don't even know this is going on. Wait, Mafia Old Country's coming out. Well, that's this year, right? We're talking about next year. What games are coming out next year, right? Is Wolverine coming out next year? Right? Do you put it out before your own Wolverine? Is there another God of War coming out? Right? Like what games are coming out from PlayStation? Do they cannibalize their own sale with their third-party game that's going everywhere that no one's interested in? I don't know. I think they put it out and just fix it along the way. I know. I know what they could do. Are you ready? They put the game out. It's going to struggle. But then they'll team up with Disney and they'll put Star Wars inside of Marathon. And then you'll have skins of Darth Vader running around in the Marathon world. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then people will be like, wait a minute. There's Star Wars and Destiny, and now Star Wars is in Marathon. And Marathon, does that mean Marathon's in the same world as Destiny, which is the same thing as... World says, I honestly think that they'll take a hit. Sony gets involved and absorbs the company. Well, they're already doing that, right? They already took the people and made their own offshoot of a company. I think that's exactly what happens. I think they just get absorbed in. Do you know what could happen though? And I would be right again. I don't know. I don't see this happening. But imagine a situation where this bombs completely. They take the people, they had their own studio already from the people they made from Bungie, and instead of dissolving Bungie into Sony, they're like, if you pay us, Sony will release them back in the wild, and Bungie will still survive in the scraps they have. They'll have nothing. They won't have Marathon. They don't have Halo. They won't own Destiny. They would have to start as a brand new studio again with nothing. And Bungie will survive. Because for some reason, Bungie always finds a way to survive. Pete Carson will still buy cars. Krebsy says they have 4 maps, and I think they'll launch early access in September with 1 map. They said wipes happen every 3 months. So every 3 months, release a big update, 2 years of this release 1.0. You're saying 2 years is going to last. Brainchild says, how long is Sony guts Bungie and usable employees, absorbs them into Sony, and closes Bungie? I mean, they're already doing it in the process. I don't know if they're absorbing Bungie, but they're already moving people over to a separate studio. For all we know is, Crowded House says, for all we know, they could have been already working on this problem, probably why the alpha was supposed to be closed. Well, if they were already working on the problem, why would they open it up to alpha? That doesn't make any sense, House. If they knew this was a problem, then why would they release it to open alpha to other people to find out what the problem is? Ray says, remember when Foam Stars, Grand Blue Fantasy, and Final Fantasy 16 released all at the same month? It wasn't good for Foam Stars. Oh, but people told me, Ray, that Foam Stars is going to make it. They're going to make it. They said, it's such a good game. You're just a hater because you don't like that type of game, is what they told me. What happened to Foam Stars? Is it still running? How successful is it? Z says Bungie will survive because they steal other ideas. But this time, it'll change it enough that they can use it. Maybe. Maybe, Z. Do I think Cross is out? Cross is what, the art director? I think they have to fire him. If that's the art director, they have to fire him. It happened underneath his watch. Unless he got promoted after it happened, because it was 2017 that they were using this stuff. They stole from her stuff. Now, we don't know when they implemented it into the actual game. If it's under Cross's supervision, then he has to go. If it was in the game before Cross got his position, then Cross is not to blame because he didn't know about it. Now he just feels like shit because it's there, right? And why would he go back and check someone else's work? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot going on. If he was there and he okayed the sheet, then he needs to go. If he got promoted to his position like Joe Ziegler, okay, where Barrett was in charge before, then Ziegler and Cross are fine because they didn't do it, but they still have to get, something has to happen. Right? But if Cross is the one that okayed it, then he needs to get fired. Aku says 30. Bungie is like a cockroach. It seems like they could survive a nuclear blast. For some reason, man, Bungie always gets out, and they always make the other people the bad guys. They made Microsoft the bad guys. They made Activision the bad guys. I'm sure they'll find a way to make Sony the bad guys. Crowd says because they thought no one would notice. But that right there is a massive problem. It's a massive problem. Look, it's not that hard to give credit to something, right? If I do a story, right, I put it in the description down below. If I use a video, I give a link to the description down below. It's not hard to do, right? You say, hey, we're watching this video. Here it is, right? They didn't do that. They stole someone's work, right? Imagine. Right? Obviously, it doesn't make sense. But imagine I went to Destin's video, okay? I went to Destin's video, and instead of showing Destin on the screen, okay? Instead of showing Destin on the screen, all this footage up here that he has when he brings up the screen, I crop it out. And I only show his screen and then pretend I put all the work into it, right? That's fucked up. Okay? You put it on there and you say, yeah, go check out his channel. Link in the description down below, right? Here's an artist we did, okay? Here's the artist. Pay the artist. If you're upper management and you're like, oh, we're going to use this work. Oh, it got stolen. Let's not say anything. I'll take the blame. Let's not say anything and just put it in the game, right? Like, is that what happened? Because that's fucked up. Ray says, I like Foam Stars, but nobody plays it, so I can't play it. That's right, because those games live or die with the population. Z says, do we know if Cross worked on anything else in the past? I don't know. I haven't jumped into his resume to know how long he's been at Bungie, what he worked on before this, when he got promoted. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff we would have to know. Hence why I said the different. If he got promoted after the fact, then it's not his fault, so he shouldn't get fired. Because if the sheet was submitted before he got the job, then he wouldn't have known. But now he's the guy that has to deal with it. Just wait for gummy bears and baby steps. They'll be bangers. Brainchild says, maybe Bungie will finally have to get rid of the huge Christmas holiday vacation they take and actually work through the holiday, not necessarily on the holiday, like most companies. Right. They take off for like a month and a half. Cross will be like, what the hell did I get into? Or crap. Exactly right. I don't know. I don't know where he lies, Quintar. Mo says in 2027 they'll have a story campaign and more PvE stuff to do and extra extraction stuff with more maps, faction guns, characters, etc. September 2027. Sure, Mo, but they got to make money up to that point. You think they're going to throw? You think Sony's going to throw more money into this game and wait 2 years without getting a return on an investment? They paid $3.6 billion. There is no way Sony's waiting. Bungie stopped them from making other live service games, and now this game It's going to get delayed by 2 years? I don't think so. Hal says, did you notice when he spoke, he said, this is something I wrote, and I think he knows he's done. He stuck his neck out on purpose to take the blame and have a project. Well, here, if he is the person that it happened to, good for him for putting himself out there, okay? I don't respect him, okay? But good for him for taking the knocks on the head. And if he's the one that puts himself out there and gets fired, then great. But if he's a person that didn't okay this, he's just the person taking the blame now. I mean, that's part of the job, right? Someone fucked you over in the past. Now you have to deal with his problems. Jones says that the former employee, maybe they were just fired, or maybe they also were scapegoating them. Look, if I was at other studios out there, they should know who they fired. That way no one else hires them. Why would you want to hire a theft, a person that steals? Why would you want to hire someone that does artwork but steals artwork from other people? They need to put the name out there. There needs to be held accountable for who did it. They know who did it. Great. Who is it? Remember the guy? I don't remember the guy's name. Remember the guy that was word for word? He was making YouTube videos and plagiarizing other people's work. Do you remember that guy? Who was that? What was his name? Cubby says, I just blame Barrett. Barrett is suing Bungie, so probably not a good idea. How do you even check for this? Check for what? Who submitted the sheet? Well, if it was my business and someone's submitting a piece of artwork to us to put in the game, you would assume that they signed the sheet, right? Who did the artwork? Hey, such and such submitted this piece of paper. I signed off on it. There has to be a paper trail. Mo says it's either that they or either that or they cancel it. This is why Destiny has a roadmap. Z says, 30, do you think that all the positive things that were said about Bungie, even from Lono, carry over, that they were also such a great choice for Sony to help them put out a great live service games? Do I think all the positive things that were said about Bungie, even from Lono, carry over, that they were also such a great choice for Sony to help them? No, I think Sony, it was a reaction to what Activision happened. I think Activision they got bought out by Microsoft, and based on where Sony was going, they picked up Bungie. Remember, Microsoft turned down Bungie. Microsoft got approached Bungie, and Bungie wanted $7 billion, and they said it was too much. And then they bought Bethesda instead. Okay, instead, not instead. All right, instead. Then Sony was still on their own, and then they got picked up for half the price. Half the price. They wanted, I think, $7.2 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and they said, we had a conversation about this. I said the comps for that were not right. Microsoft said, you're asking for way too much. You're not worth that. Okay, and then they didn't buy them, and they bought Bethesda instead. And then Sony bought Bungie, and they bought that in response because they were trying to get into the live service. They put all their eggs in the basket, put everything through that basket, canceled a lot of shit because of that basket, and now they're where they are. Krebsy says, to be fair, the service games Bungie stopped should have been stopped because of the studio that were making those games are single-player studios and could not be the change to support the live service. That might be, Krebsy, but the fact that they still stopped the live service games from going through, there's 4 or 5 different canceled games right now that were live service that didn't come out. And now they stopped those games because this game was going to be the big one, and now this one's breaking apart at the seams. How do you check for stolen artwork? Very simple. You go to the art guy. Did you draw this? Oh, yeah? Great. You have to look at other sites. You got to look, where did you get this from? Where's your inspiration? You got to show something, right? So the thief is going to be like, oh, no, I came up with it. I was inspired by whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, great. And then also it says, this is my artwork. And they're like, who did it? Right? Is this your artwork? No, I stole it from this other person. Great. Bob Jones, right? You know what I mean? Like, Bob Jones stole it, right? Now tell us Bob Jones stole it. So Bob Jones doesn't get hired anywhere else. The name of the guy who famously plagiarized a ton of game reviews was fired by IGN is Flip Muchin, right? Got called out. Never to be heard from again, right, Alien? Thank you for looking that up. Unless you knew that off the top of your head, which is impressive. Jax82 says, it's over for Bungie. There's no way they can also release this game in September, even if you are delayed and damages are already done. How will Sony handle this? I think that they release it, pretend nothing happens, put it out there. They already have the people they want from the studio in a separate studio, the 200 people. What is it, 200 people making another studio? And they see what they can make from the money that they put invested into Bungie. And if Marathon fails, well, then they have to have a backup plan, which is more content for Destiny 2. Mo says they all were panic buys. Bungie, Firewalk, Bungie subsidiary, and Haven. Sony really set the games division back at least 5 years trying to make these live service games at buying Bungie. I'm sure they regret every bit of it. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years ago when they first bought it, and before we knew about factions, before we knew about all these other stuff, I said, I hope that Sony, okay, doesn't hurt their single-player games because of these live service games. I said, I hope they're taking the IPs and making a live service game, but not from the studios. And obviously now we know that they were pushing towards making games that they weren't used to. Okay. I also said I was okay with them making the evolving and adapting to the industry by doing this. Okay. But I said, I hope it doesn't, putting 60% of your budget towards live service games. I hope the people that are making these games are not the people making the single player games and hurting the single player games. Dave says Bungie knew what they were doing. They canceled the other potential good game to get their own game out. I mean, I said that earlier. I there might be a little bit to that, right? Oh, no, this is not very good. Yeah, you don't want to put this out there, right? Let's take it from a different perspective. I'm not saying this is what they did, but let me tell you a different perspective, right? If Sony doesn't know anything about live service games, and they buy you for $3.2 billion, 3.6, 3.2, and you're supposed to be the expert of live service games because you have Destiny and Destiny 2, and you're the most successful live service game, okay? And they're like, what about this? And you're Destiny, and you're like, you look at what they're making, and you go, damn, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, right? Like, if that's good, and they're making you look bad, and I'm not saying, again, this is not what they did, but business is a cutthroat industry. If you put all their power on them and they say what goes through and what doesn't go through, and Sony doesn't know anything, they bought you to tell them what goes through. It's plausible. It's plausible to be like, yeah, it's bad. Nah, that's bad. That's bad. They didn't get to Helldivers because Helldivers was already through. It was already through. Okay? I don't know. At this point, I wouldn't put anything past Bungie. You looked it up? That's all right. Any stuck you hired can also just say they drew it independently. Sure, they could lie until it's found out when someone comes through and says, you stole my artwork. Then the person that passed it off as their own gets fired and sued. Then the person that let it sign through also didn't check the art stuff, right? Go to different sites. I mean, I could go to an art site right now and type in stuff and put in Destiny. Like if you go to even artwork to make stickers and stuff, if I type in Destiny, artwork's going to pop up. Okay? And if all of a sudden I see something that pops up, they search all the time. How do you think, Jones, they looked to see if something's being plagiarized from their own work? right? Because I can't take the logos from Destiny, put them on a sticker, and then sell those stickers. It gets seen. They submit stuff into a file system, and it scans it and says, no, you can't use this because this is plagiarized. You're using this, and you're trying to make money off of their stuff. They're doing the exact same thing. If you're telling me that I can upload something to Redbubble and it gets flagged because Bungie says, oh, you're using one of our logos, and you're telling me they don't have a service to tell if someone's artwork is being used by someone else? Come on. House says, if they truly want to make it right by the artist and show something awesome, people will play it. It's just how it works. People will play it regardless. House. Again, I said this. Majority of the people don't watch the news. They don't watch gaming news. They're not in a podcast like this. We're not talking about the news. They just see a game come out and they go, that looks fun, and they buy it. It's when the people that see it and go, I'm not playing this game, and the people that don't see this stuff, they're playing the game, they're going, how come no one's playing the game? Oh, the game's kind of dead. And they just leave because no one's playing the game. Krebs says this goes one of two ways. One, Marathon releases September, and it's fixed over the next 12 to 18 months. Or option two, Marathon is shipped, and 3 months later, Sony cleans C-Suite, and Destiny 3's development starts. How about option three, Krebsy? Option three. I'm gonna add one to your option. Okay. Option three is a combination of 1 and 2, where it goes and Marathon's released in September and fixed over the next 12 to 18 months, and they know it's fucking a disaster. So 3 months into it, they go full steam ahead with Destiny 3. I'm gonna put option C there, all the above, because 100% it's gonna get fixed over the next 12 to 18 months. What's going on, Lanini? Hope the artist gets paid $10 million. I don't think they'll get paid $10 million. If anything, they'll get paid what it would cost them on how long it would take the project. So if the person got paid, let's say 3 weeks work for the stuff they submitted, then they get paid that, and they should get more because of the compensation of the stuff of being sold, and they were trying to make money off of her without the compensation. So I would say couple thousands, tens of thousands, maybe. But Sony, I wonder if they pay it out, even though Sony is the owner now. They're like, well, you stole this before we owned you. There's a lot of stuff that can go behind the scenes. I don't know. That's why I think Sony stays quiet. They're like, this is your own fucking fault. We'll be over here if you need us. Yeah, they're like, we're still working on the PSN network thing that people have to sign up for. No. This is not on us. This is all Bungie. Yeah, they're like, we're not dealing with this. Forget that. Yeah, they're sink or swim, baby. Sink or swim. Kyla says Sony over the actively shopping Destiny to other companies behind the scenes. Who's going to buy them? Ubisoft? Tencent? They're like, hey, Tencent, good deal. We'll give it to you for $1 billion. Just take them away from us. Waterbear says basically that I'm hearing is that the roundabout way of just creating Destiny 3, lose a lot of money and goodwill first, and then drop the fans wanted before all this shit. Nice. Yeah, I basically I think that's what happens. This is Bungie. The artist would be paid by selling a $20 cosmetic in-game. Right. They would just pay them for how long they worked on the project, and then they would give them a couple $1,000s. I don't think. Plus, she's already showed her hand and said that she doesn't have the money to take him to court, which I would have never said. I would have said, I'm looking into it. I would have never said I can't afford them to take him to court. That's what corporations love to hear. They're like, oh, they can't afford it. She showed her hand. Right, Kylo? They're like, why? They're like, why? Why couldn't Microsoft buy these guys? Kylo says, I'll give them $5 for Bungie right now. Take it or leave it. I would have kept my mouth shut to the game ship. 100%. 100%. But you have to think about, again, I don't know the artist or anything. I did send her a direct message. I said, hey, I made this song about you, about the situation that's happening. So I sent that directly to her. If she listened to it or not, I don't know. But I would have stayed quiet. If this was happened, I would have stayed quiet. Okay? And then when it came out, whoo, she could have single-handedly destroyed the entire launch. Still could have. But Bungie's lucky it wasn't me. If I was the artist, and you guys know how I like Bungie. If I was the artist and this happened, I would have saw it and I would have went, when does it come out? September 22nd? Okay. With like licking my fingers clean of chicken, okay? Like, holy Christ. I would be like, I'm getting paid. I wouldn't have said nothing until that game launched. And then I would have put the key and the nuclear code and then pushed the button. I'm sure they would have been a lawyer that would also take it in, Anna, and also ask for payment if they won. Oh, sure. I think there's people right now reaching out to her. I think now that they're out there and she said she can't afford it, I'm sure there's people looking and reaching out to her saying, I'll represent you. Because they know they have a case and they can win. Microsoft did the research on Bungie and they gave a large fuck no to them. Perhaps, yeah. Yeah. Kyle says, no wonder Jim Ryan left. Bro really tarnished the whole company and said, fuck it and peace. Probably got fired, but still. I mean, Mo said back in the day that he's not retiring. He got pushed. Kind of looks more sane now, doesn't it? There's definitely some shady people at Bungie doing some 3D chess sabotaging. Yeah. 100%, Kylo. Be like, oh, all I want to hear is, Marathon's selling so good. I would have been like, cha-ching. Hey, that's my assets. Just take all the information, get all the stuff, all the advertisements on the thing, what they're doing, the posters, T-shirt sales, if they're selling like the little logos and stuff on it. Because right now, they probably had a whole machine working. All right, this is what we're doing. We'll put this out, put this logo on the thing, put all that. They were doing all of this. They were producing stickers and coasters and candles and everything else. I would have waited. Dave says, I think there's regardless of probably knocking at the door right now. Your bad girl? Hopefully, Dave. I don't know. I've heard plenty of stories where people get taken advantage of and they don't see a fucking dime. They don't see a fucking dime. Because right now, all they have to do, because it's before it launched, if they scrap it all before it launches, it's almost the same situation that that EA had with Star Wars Battlefront 2, where they got rid of the cosmetic microtransactions, loot boxes before it came out. And technically, the loot boxes were never in the game because at launch, the loot boxes weren't in the game. You see what I'm saying? If they didn't fix it, it would have came out, and then they could have said that the loot boxes were in the game. But they had a beta, took that shit out before it launched, and it was a different story. They still went to court and stuff like that, but if they stayed quiet and didn't say anything, I'm telling you, the designs would have been on T-shirts, coasters, stickers, candles. They would have made a whole posters, right? They would have done all this. And then you could have been like, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. Cha-ching. World says Hoag's Law was on the Iron Lords podcast yesterday and broke it down pretty well. I'll have to watch that. Kyle says, bro, imagine that they put her art on one of their T-shirts. Literally the only thing in the game that had it and is stolen. I'm telling you, man. I guarantee you that shit was happening. 4 months to develop a good lawsuit. Game shipped September 23rd and September 24th, and they're hit with the lawsuit. Here's the thing, though. They could clean out the complete lawsuit or complete out the complete game, and they don't have anything. They know to fix it now. Right? If they get it, if they clean it out, Krebsy, beforehand, all they have to do is compensate her for using her stuff and being paid. But if it was in the game when it comes out, again, I'm not a lawyer, okay? I just have experience with shit stolen from me from different board game, TV show stuff, ideas, right? If she stayed quiet and then it came out that it sold, and then all of a sudden you go to the eShop and you go to marathon.com and you get the T-shirts and all that stuff, she would have a much bigger suit. And then Sony would be out and Bungie would be out their asses because they would have to destroy all that stuff, all the stuff that they paid for. But now, if they clear it out before it comes out, all they got to basically do is compensate her for her time that she did for making the artwork, and then their time for... So they compensate her a couple grand, which, to be fair, probably is a lot of money. I mean, would you turn down a couple of grand? You know what I mean? I would take a couple grand right now. If I already worked on the thing, and then I find out, especially I worked on it 2017, and then all of a sudden now they're using it, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I worked on that 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and now you're getting paid 10 grand for it? Something I didn't have before, now I have it. Arca says, yeah, if they don't use it, then they made no money from it. And thus they really caused no damage or profit for her work. That's right. That's why they're staying mum. And they're like, we're looking out for compensation or whatever, because, again, they didn't sell anything. They didn't sell anything yet. Nothing happened. It's almost like it doesn't exist at this point. Except for the goodwill. The goodwill is breaking down. Us talking about it's breaking down Bungie and causing concern about, well, Bungie's done this 5 times previous that we know of. Okay? But monetarily, they haven't done anything yet. Would have been better if to slap them after and put the game out. 100%. If she takes them to court, the judge may also take it into consideration that Bungie is a repeat offender. 100%. It goes much deeper if they take the court and she can say, well, they told... Again, if the monetary value would have completely changed now, if the game came out and they have it on shirts and all this other stuff, there's a bigger lawsuit. Was the alpha free? I believe it was, and I believe they opened it up to other people because it was supposed to be a closed alpha. That's another big thing. So people have been playtesting it the entire time. I don't know when they implemented this artwork inside the actual game. We know that she worked on it in 2017. We don't know how long that artwork was in the actual game for. And it was a closed alpha, which then got turned into an open alpha. Alter says 10K. Or a PlayStation 5 Pro with a copy of Marathon. I know which one I could choose. You would choose the PlayStation 5. Yeah, I know. I know, Altern. You would take the PlayStation 5 over $10,000 because it's a PlayStation 5 Pro. There is damage, but no loss of profit. Correct. So credibility is damaged for Bungie right now. Marathon's damaged. Bungie's damaged. Sony's a little damaged. Okay. But there's no loss right now. They have time. There's 5 months out. They go back in, scrape everything, unless they pay her. If they pay her compensation, they keep the stuff in, which would actually be a much smarter choice because now that it's out, the cat's out of the bag, you know that the stuff's in the game. If they compensate her and say, here's your money for the stuff that's in the game, they don't have to pay people to take it out of the game. They just pay her for the work that they took, pay her correctly, give her a little bit extra money, and move on with your lives, right? Because then the artist has been paid. She got paid. They don't have to do the work to take it out of the game. But now they got to take it out of the game. They don't know if they're going to pay her. They might go to court. A whole bunch of shit could happen. This be interesting to follow. Be interesting to follow. Right, Eclipse? Right? The Red War stuff is still going on. She's getting huge exposure now. Sure. But well, people are going to look at her artwork and she's going to get a job. People are going to hire her now. So she's actually getting good exposure from this. 100% House. Kyle says, I mean, if they get pre-orders already with their stolen artwork shows, it's also a false advertisement. They also made pre-order money with the art and the trailers and the gameplay shown. That's why I think they're trying to scrape it now. They can give options if people, hey, if you want your money back, take your money back for pre-orders, right? They haven't taken anything yet. Most of the time when they do pre-orders, they don't take the money up front. Like you're like putting a ticket in, but you don't pay. Sometimes you pay, obviously. But your account usually doesn't get hit with it until a certain period of time. $200 shop on Bungie's store. Hey, if you complete the next raid day one, you get a jacket. And now they got extra publicity about their game. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's true. No such thing as bad publicity, just publicity. No loss for the artist, but can sue for damages. Well, the damages are, I would have to think about that a little bit, because if they take everything out of the game, they don't compensate her because now it's not in the game, meaning they didn't use the artwork anymore. They took it out, meaning they didn't use it. They don't have to compensate her for anything. Maybe they just give her something and say, hey, sorry for the trouble type of thing. Maybe they hire her for another piece down the line. Just because they hire you doesn't mean they have to use your work. Argus says if she gets paid a little now, it'd also probably be the least money she gets, and also probably stop her from getting any other through court later. Right. It'd be very interesting to see what happens. I'm sure more will come out as the game gets closer and closer, and over time. House says there are no pre-orders, and they haven't even announced the price. There you go. So maybe this is why the characters were also so bad in Concord, because they didn't steal any assets. Yeah, they're like, basically the characters weren't complete yet. They're just like, let's put generic characters in there, and we'll work it out later. Yeah. What is this now? This is still talking about, okay, Marathon devs repeat warnings. Okay, so here's another story. We got two more stories. We'll go a little longer today. Bungie's leadership ignored Marathon devs' repeated warnings of PvE requests, and new report says. Okay, if you guys like what I do here, we just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, so Bungie leadership ignored Marathon devs' repeated warnings and PvE requests, new report says. A new report has revealed that Bungie's top leadership ignored repeated warnings and PvE requests from Marathon developers for years. Okay. Now, I did watch a video yesterday. I don't know the channel, but they were talking about how they knew people from 4 years ago that were telling upper management about putting solos inside this extraction. Okay, so Bungie upcoming extraction shooter Marathon is now facing even more scrutiny after a couple of tough weeks for the studio. It started with a game closed alpha launch, which was mostly mixed reactions from fans and critics alike. Fast forward to a week, and the new controversy landing in Bungie's lap, where the indie artist name accused of steering directly lifting from her artwork in 2017, passing a 1-to-1 closed alpha build in the game. Bungie admitting that the former artist had used the artist's designs without permission. Okay. only because they got caught. Okay, all of this has been described to as the morale in free fall at the studio as employees worry about the future of both game and the company itself. Now, a new development reveals that Bungie's leadership ignored Marathon developers' concerns for years. A new report from Forbes, Paul Tassi, which we already read, I guess, so it clearly pictured that it was also really been happening behind the scenes at Bungie. According to Tassi's sources, developers at Bungie have been voicing concerns about Marathon's core direction for at least 5 years. 5 years they've been saying that, we need something. Many repeatedly stressed that the game needed a PvE, which, I'm not a developer, right? I'm just a gamer. First thing I said that Marathon should have been was a PvE. There should be a PvE in the game. Now, obviously, their own developers 5 years ago were also saying that there should be PvP or PvE inside the game. So players versus environment component. But the senior Bungie leadership, described by some as good old boy, group often brushed off these warnings and requests. It says, quote, Marathon was originally pitched by a higher-up good old boy. What does that mean? Like, when you say good old boy, I'm thinking like the guy drives the General Lee to work. Could it be Parson? Drives the the General Lee to work. It's like, wee-ha! Yeah, we're going to make a PvP game. Like, what are we talking about? Good old boy, Bungie leadership, and also far back as 5 years ago. Devs were also telling them they wouldn't work and were often ignored. Okay? Many have said previously that they needed to have some sort of PvE component, and reports reads. Okay? Like, what? I just don't get it. Like, what are we talking about? One of those good old boys. You know what I'm talking about. Good old boy. I see you. Like, what? In a recent interview with Games Radar, Marathon game director Joe Ziegler didn't hold back about the game's direction. He made it clear that Marathon isn't aiming to please everyone or anyone. Okay? Especially those looking for PvE-only experience. I think if you're only looking for PvE experience, definitely Marathon is not the game for you, Ziegler said. He said, quote, we're very comfortable saying, yeah, this isn't a game for everybody. This is a game for, if you like PvP experiences, especially in a sandbox space, then it's probably something you're going to enjoy. But the question is, if I'm already enjoying a PvP experience in an extraction, why would I leave that game to come to your game? I don't know. The reports also reveal that Bungie's original marketing plan for Marathon, which included a new trailer and launched the pre-orders in June, was scrapped earlier this month. Along with that, Bungie also now roll out a series of public playtests instead of single open beta. Though these details aren't finalized yet. Oh, for sure. This game is coming out in September. If they're scrapped the earlier this month for the trailer and for pre-orders, and now they're rolling out series of public playtests, 100% this game's coming out in September. Other recent details include the price, which the Game Post reported last year would be $40, and as a couple of weeks ago, that is still the plan. While there hasn't been any official talk of delay yet, all the ongoing changes and behind-the-scenes drama have a lot of people wondering if it might actually happen. Oh, it's happening. What do you think about all these Marathon developments? Oh, it's happening. Obviously they could change, and tomorrow I can report that it's getting delayed. Or next week, it's getting delayed. And I can see it getting delayed. I think no matter if they delay it or not, it's still going to be a problem. But I think full steam ahead. As I said earlier, full steam ahead. They're going to put it out there. They're going to put it out in September. Borderlands already moved up. Grand Theft Auto's already gone. This is the time to launch. They're not going to have a better time to launch. The longer they wait, the worse it's going to get for them. So they're going to put it out. Now, I did say last week or 2 weeks ago, I hope Arc Raiders doesn't say their date and they launch a week before, right? It's going to be like, or the day before. I would love that. I would love if Arc Raiders, okay, waits and they're like, we're not going to tell you what it is. The week before, all of a sudden they're like, Arc Raiders coming out September 22nd. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're coming out. And then just destroy Marathon. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. Yeah, good old boy, Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, no. When they say they're saying it in a derogatory term, not a derogatory term like they're not saying like good old boy like they're racist. They're saying it as a good old boy like they don't agree. They're saying a higher up old school. That's like saying replace good old boy with boomer, right? They're saying a boomer, an old school boomer employee, right, that thinks this way. That's what they're saying with the good old boy. They're saying, oh, well, the good old boy, right? Wait, let me read the exact quote. Hold on. Scrutinize the connection, closed alpha, feature, Altassi. Yeah. Marathon has originally pitched by a higher up good old boy. First of all, right there, right? Let me bring it back up on the screen. This right here being quoted, okay? Being quoted, Marathon was originally pitched by a higher up good old boy, meaning the higher up they're talking down to because like, oh yeah, it's one of those old school higher up guys, the good old boys that can do whatever they want. That's what that's saying right there, right? That's what they're saying right there. Dave Reese says, for a $5 super chat, appreciate it. $5 bet Marathon will be gone faster than Concord. I don't know, man. 12 days. I don't want to say never, but I'll tell you what, Dave. You're brand new here, so this is what I'll do for you. In September, when the game comes out, if it fails faster, okay, I will gift a membership to somebody. And if it doesn't, right, if I'm wrong, I'll give a membership. And if you're wrong, then you have to gift a membership to the channel. If you're still here. This is Bungie we're talking about. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, Robert Jones says the old guard. Yeah, but it's also it's derogatory. It's a younger person in the company saying, "Oh yeah, we didn't want to do this, but the good old boy, the higher up, right? Good old boy." Kyle says, "So does good old boy mean I suck off the higher ups and get my ideas heard?" No. Good old boy means that if you got into a position, at least this is the way I take it, if I'm new into a company and I want my ideas heard, but they don't listen to me because the higher up is a good old boy, is a been here for years, established person, whatever you want to say, right? That person that's been here for a while thinks a certain way. They don't think the new way like we think, and that's why they're calling him a good old boy. Altern says, no wonder Bungie doesn't know how much to charge for Marathon. If they're stealing everything, they don't have a cost of the game. That's very good, Altern. I like it. They're like, yeah, how do we know if we charge $40 or $50? We don't even know what the budget is. We're just stealing artwork from people and putting it in the game. Robert Jones says, it's my way or the highway, can be good or bad, mostly bad. Right. It's not jokingly, though, like, oh, it's a good one of those, old school good old boys. No, they're talking down like they don't like the person. That's the way I do it. Like, they don't respect the upper management. Obviously, that's by calling him a good old boy, right? They're not respecting it. Kyle says, got it. So it's like a boys club. If there's a way or a highway, same type of thing with sports franchise, hiring all the old friends to coach and develop young talent. Well, you got to think about that, right? If you get a position, right? If you get a position, you're working for a company. This is why nepotism happens all the time in Hollywood, right? If you are working on I'll do it in a film project way, right? If I'm working my way up as a camera operator, and I've been working in the industry for years and years and years, and all of a sudden I get my big break as a cinematographer, okay? Well, I want to do the best job as a cinematographer as I can, okay? So am I going to let the company say, hey, you're working with these people? Or am I going to say, hey, I want to bring these people in because I want the best product to happen, right? So if you're in a situation where you can call the shots and you can have people do or come in to make you look better, well, that's what you're going to do. No way in hell are you going to be like, yeah, let's go with this whole new crew. Hence why when companies get bought, purchased, and eaten up by other companies, they fire everybody and they bring in people that they trust and know as they were working their way up through the system. They know who's a hard worker, who's not a hard worker, who's, doing good things or bad things, and that's why they bring their own team in. I'll get 5 memberships if I'm wrong. All right, and if you're right, then I'll give 5 memberships. It's 12 days. 12 days. Concord failed in 12 days. Holy shit. That's a big, and here's the thing. If you're right, Day, if you're correct, it does faster than Concord, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to pay the 5 gifted memberships because that's a hell of a record to beat. That's a hell of a record to beat. And both coming from the same company. Isn't there a way to find out who these higher-ups are? We know Parson, but who else? Well, when you say higher-ups, you don't know where in the hierarchy. Because if you're down here, there could be 20 people on the higher-ups. If you're up here, it could be like 5 people on the higher-ups. You know what I mean? Dave says, I have faith. The fact that I'm kind of scared that I'm going to be paying the 5 memberships is good and bad. Because I think you have a shot. Now, obviously, if they delay it, obviously we have to break the deal because we don't know when it's coming out. Does it count if it never comes out? Does it count because Concord launched and then closed? If Marathon never comes out, there's no deal, right? Because it never actually launched. Roic says they will get good of anyone that doesn't agree with them as well. Right. They'll get rid of. Krebsy says, this is Bungie in a few months. A boat ran into the Brooklyn Bridge, and this is an instance of the bridge is Sony cutting down the masses called Bungie. That's a nice analogy there. I did see that. It's crazy. Kyle says, I wasn't here for the whole show. Did you talk about the Microsoft is testing Steam integration on the Microsoft Store? I did not. I didn't even know that was happening. The way our show works, Kylo, I look at a couple of stories that you guys submit through the the weekend and stuff. And since we didn't have a show from GXG last week, there's a lot of stories in there without breaking down to the next show. So people launch. Sometimes I go in the morning and I look at what new stories are there. So we just talk about current things. So if it happened this morning or it happened yesterday and I didn't read about it or no one submitted it, I wouldn't see it. I rely. Sort of like what Asmongold does with his on Reddit, I rely on you guys submitting stories in our Discord. Sarge says, go to the company's website, look at the list. There's senior members, and you also can see who they are. Sure, but we don't know if it's 12, 15, and who of that is. Drummond says 30. When will I see my gifted that you will be doing? What do you mean? Did I make a deal with you that I lost? I usually pay out my deals. Was there a deal? Or are you saying are you commenting on me and Day bet going on? I mean, either way, 5 people in some way, shape, or form are getting gifted memberships. So that's a win for the community. Alton says, so again, the fault of all of the Bungie situations is from managers. Why Sony hasn't had to get rid of them? This is the most problem, right? This is the biggest problem with most companies, right? Every time we ever have a problem with a company, we always say it's upper management. No one ever blames upper management. Laura Fryer even talked about upper management in the last video we watched her, okay? Upper management is most of the time the problem. What was the problem with Redfall? Upper management. What was the problem with... what was the other game that came out? Upper management, right? It's always upper management. Roadkill says, what are we betting? Day says that that Marathon will be canceled faster than Concord, right? So he's saying 12 days or less, right? I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, right? They're saying 12 days or less, and I'm saying it'll go over 12 days. I'm saying it stays and goes out because they need the game. Aku says the upper management won't blame themselves, so everything continues. No, it's I'll post it now. It seems to be a rumor from a source, not familiar with, so I'll take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, just put them in. Anything that you guys see for submitted stories you want to put into there. If someone already didn't put it in, then you can submit it. Sometimes there's duplicates, and I'll delete it. Robert Jones says, if they think it will flop in a Concord, they won't release. Krebsy says, Pete's greenlighting Bungie to have like 7 projects in development is what hurt the company. Destiny's got abandoned, and Marathon never got the resources it needed. Altern says, I can see the Marathon either getting delayed or lasting 6 months. And we also have a Skulls and also Bones situation. I mean, Skull and Bones is still around, right? Redfall is still around. To be Concord, it's got to be pretty bad. Like, think about it. There's a lot of games that are out that weren't good that are still here. Redfall and Skull and Bones are 2 games that should have been canceled. And yet they're still here and you can still play them. Heroic says this game gets the old Yeller treatment. Jeez. All right. All right, the last story we're going to talk about today is Hogwarts Legacy 2, coordinating with new HBO Harry Potter TV series. Now, we've talked about this sort of stuff all the time, right? We talk about if it's a one-to-one crossover type of thing, like a Defiance back in the day. We've talked about, even when Hogwarts came out, I said it's kind of weird they launched it with no Harry Potter film coming out or anything like that. So this is interesting because, again, I haven't read the article. Just thinking, Hogwarts Legacy 2 coordinating with new HBO Harry Potter TV series. First of all, the Harry Potter TV series is a reboot of the movies, but in the TV series. Hogwarts 1 was taking place 100 years before the Harry Potter series. So now they're taking Harry Potter's series and linking it to Hogwarts Legacy 2. This is interesting, okay? Because there is no connection, and you played a character in Hogwarts Legacy 1, which was in their 5th year of Hogwarts. And we said, and I have videos of this, where if they have the 5th year, then they could come out with the sequel. You're in the 6th year and the 7th year. And we talked about how you make it a live service game and you just bring in more content. And they were going to put more content, but then they deleted the content. Now they're putting it over into... So it'd be very interesting to see if Hogwarts Legacy 2 is direct with the Harry Potter. Like, you're a kid in the world of Harry Potter now, and Harry Potter's in the same school as you. And now you're a new kid that's coming in, and Harry Potter's giving you quests, and Hermione's giving you quests. Like, that type of stuff, I don't know if I like this. I kind of liked Hogwarts the way it was because Hogwarts was separate, but still in the same world. Like, you could tell your own stories. But now, if they're linking it, let's see how they're linking it, all right? If you guys like what I do here, we just have conversations about news stories, give you my thoughts and opinions. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay? So it seems as though the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy sequel will be coordinating storylines with the Harry Potter HBO TV series, which, again, I think is stupid. Okay? I like connecting stuff, but now you're connecting to a TV show, which is a weekly thing. Is it a series? Like, I mean, I know it's a series, but they're doing all the movies, but in a TV series type of stuff. Hogwarts Legacy 2 has not been officially unveiled just yet, but it exists and has been acknowledged by executives, and a runaway success in the original meant that Hogwarts Legacy 2 was always the matter of when, not if. Anyway, though it remains to be seen as the more substantial information will come out about the game. Hogwarts Legacy was the best-selling game of 2023 marketing a rare year with the Activision Call of Duty, was beat for the top spot, and the game was a massive commercial hit, yet nobody talked about it. Yet no mainstream media talked about it. Yet it wasn't nominated for one single reward. Amazing. Amazing. So, Hogwarts Legacy 2 will have in store, while specifics of it is still unavailable, it seems, though, it will have some kind of synergy with the Harry Potter TV series. Last year, prior to David Haddad leaving Warner Brothers Games, executive told Variety that the Hogwarts Legacy sequel will be coordinating some of the big picture storytelling elements of the game with the storylines in the Harry Potter HBO series. It's unclear exactly what this means. It's possible it may provide some insight when Hogwarts Legacy 2 will be set. Well, of course, it's going to be set. If it's going to have stories from the fucking series, then it means it's 100 years after the last game, which I think is stupid. Okay? Continue the story. Continue with your character. Make a new game plus and take my character and move it on over like a Mass Effect game. Okay? So Hogwarts Legacy 2 coordinating with HBO series. This has been a speculation lately about the Hogwarts Legacy 2 setting. The original Hogwarts Legacy is set in the late 1800s, which meant that the vast majority of the recognizable Harry Potter franchise characters were off the table when it came to the story. However, in a recent Avalanche software job listing, have suggested that Hogwarts Legacy 2 will feature more established characters from the Harry Potter canon. Concerning this, as Haddad comments from the last year, it's entirely possible that Hogwarts Legacy 2 will take place around the same time as Harry Potter books and movies. Of course, that's just speculation at this time. It's entirely possible, perhaps even more likely, that Hogwarts Legacy 2 will go with a different time period. Again, I don't think it should be linked in any way, shape, or form. If it's linked, it would be like Dumbledore is in school now, and you meet Dumbledore while you're there, or you meet a character that later down the road happens to be a professor or something along the lines. But to connect the two with the series, I think you're having massive problems, and WB will fuck this up in one way, shape, or form. Okay? Taking the place concurrently with the Harry Potter books and movies would be interesting, but also I'll create all kinds of problems and potential Hogwarts Legacy 2 plot holes. It seems like it'd also make more sense if Hogwarts Legacy 2 to be set shortly after the events of the first game. That's right, because that makes sense. Okay, why you would change it and move it up to 100 years where Harry Potter is, or have some sort of connection that way, is just dumb. If you want to connect it in a way where all of a sudden, Voldemort is connected in some way and he's in school with you and then he sure, okay, but at that point, I don't know. It just feels, what, do you connect it to the father? Do you connect it to the mother? Are you in class? It's too far of a gap, if you ask me. Too far of a gap. And now you're shrinking it down. It seems like they would also make more sense if Hogwarts Legacy 2 would be set shortly after the events of the first game, or if it's decades between Hogwarts Legacy 1 and start the Harry Potter books and movies. Unfortunately, the Hogwarts Legacy sequel is likely years away from its release, so it'll be quite some time before it's more context of Haddad's comments. I personally think they should stay far away from the actual story of Harry Potter, the reboot, the remaster. Okay, one, because of the casting decisions, and you're bringing that character now, Snape, into the actual game, then you're fucking it up and you're making it worse for yourself. Hogwarts Legacy 2 should take place shortly after the scenes of Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, continue that story. You can make a line through it, maybe a story that happens inside the game itself is a connection that connects to Harry Potter. Like, maybe you're thinking of before Voldemort, there was someone else. I don't know the Harry Potter story or lore, but what I'm saying is, if that's connected to Voldemort or connected to some way, shape, or form, which then the father, the story of what happened with the father, that connects to Harry Potter, cool, that's just a thread. But if you're connecting it one-to-one, and if it's doing like a Defiance thing where all of a sudden what happens in the TV series, then all of a sudden like an event happens inside the game, I don't know about that. If you want to connect it per se of Harry Potter comes out, this TV series, and they're having a event, like they're doing the Quidditch Championship, and then inside the game, they're also doing the Quidditch Championship, like that type of connection, cool, okay? But if you're doing something along the lines where it's connecting the stories, I think that's a massive problem. I think WB should stay clear of this. They should have this as a established franchise, Hogwarts Legacy now, as the game version of Harry Potter. Then they have Harry Potter, the new reboot of the series, and they have the movies and they have the books, but keep Hogwarts Legacy separate from the actual thing. Do not connect it. Now, you could use it to advertise. You can get people excited about the series. You could do events in the game that just people watch the show, they get excited, so they go play the game. But don't connect them a one-to-one. Just use them to advertise for each other. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think they should connect these two? Do you think they should take Hogwarts Legacy 2 and keep it separate just shortly after the Hogwarts Legacy 1? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Hogwarts Legacy 2 if it comes out? One, I think they should have some sort of live service aspect of it, like a Grand Theft Auto Online. I do. I think that if you want to play the single player, you can play the single player. If you're a person that wants to play the online stuff, you can play the online stuff like a GTA Online. I think Hogwarts is the perfect game for that, for people that love Harry Potter, that love that world, that universe, that they could have that, and that would be phenomenal for people to live in, decorate their houses, live inside the world type of stuff. But I do not believe they should connect it a one-to-one and fuck it up, because you know WB will mess this up in one way, shape, or form. All right. Roic says that would totally the storytelling that they also what they can do. If the show flops, your game also might as well. Well, you got to remember that the show is just a reboot, right? Is just a reboot of the actual movie. Instead of making a new movie, they're rebooting it and making a show. Harry Potter's Harry Potter. They could tell it in a different way, but I don't think the series is going to flop. Obviously, they are trying to make it flop by doing certain stupid things where it could not have good viewership, but the story's already been told. You know, the story's already been told. Eclipse says, I mean, this was the state, the first game to help sell Call of Duty in like 10 years. That's crazy. Yeah, the only other one that does to beat them was Grand Theft Auto. Call of Duty was the one and only solid franchise, and then till Hogwarts. But no one gave it credit. No one gave it credit. I would connect it like Defiance. Oh boy, fanboys are using Steam numbers again for Doom, the Dark Ages now. Can we just give it a rest? Yes, it's on Game Pass, but it also requires you to have ray tracing enabled GPU. Same with Indie. Oh, they're saying it's not selling well because of Steam. Did any of the other games sell well on Steam? I don't know. I'm not playing it. It's on Game Pass. I'm still not playing it. I'm not interested in it. Kyle says it's a new Harry Potter show. I don't see it flopping at all. That fan base shows up. Yeah. No, I as I said, even if it doesn't do well, it's just the movies done in the series now. It's got a huge fan base. Like we're talking, we've had this conversation before, right? These are the three big franchises out there as far as movies and books go. Okay, you got Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Harry Potter gives a run for the money, man. They have a ridiculous fan base. Ridiculous fan base. There's a lot of people that love Harry Potter. And you got to think about it now that those people that loved it as kids now have kids themselves and have also read the books to them and also watched the movies with them. It's a huge, huge fan base. Eclipse says, of course they did. But Steam numbers didn't matter when Concord happened, right? That's right. Yeah. Roblox makes the most money in gaming, I think. It's in the top. I want to say it's in the top 5. At one point, I think it was Roadkill, but I don't know if it's still making the most money. I think the one that makes the most money is still Grand Theft Auto. But you might be correct. As he says, add a TV show will allow them to dig much deeper into all the stuff people complained was missing from the movies. Oh, for sure. Yeah, they could definitely make it, and they'll be stupid if they did this, Z. If they're like, oh, we only did 6 episodes, and they did less information as they did in the movies, right? They could tell as long as the stories they want. They have a captive audience for Harry Potter. So, hell, My thing with them is hopefully they make it longer than 8 episodes. They don't do what like Disney does with all the Marvel shows and whatnot. Like you have your own thing. Take as long and say as much as you want within your series. People would love it. Kyle says I played the first mission. It was fun. First mission of what? Harry Potter? Hogwarts? I'm sorry. All right, let me see what's happening on Twitter. What the hell? Why do I have to sign in? What the hell? No, that is not the account that I chose. What is happening here? No, that's... What is happening here? Give me my account. Thank you. It's like, what is happening? I hate when it does that. It's like you're putting in the wrong password. Is no, I'm not. No, I'm not. 37 minutes of Switch 2 Cyberpunk 2077 footage has been posted online. Okay. This is Switch 2 footage.
Turns out I will be staying at the stadium after all.
What about the bar guest now? You're 2 months behind with your rent. How are you gonna come up with that?
I have a question. Who is buying this on the Switch 2? If and when the people that were interested in Cyberpunk own either a PC, a PlayStation, or an Xbox, or an Xbox One, or a PlayStation 4, because if you own a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, you can still play this game. And do we think this is going to run like this? Company says, I was going to share this article yesterday, but it would post right in the Discord, but it said that GTA 5 sold 5 million copies since February 2025, and Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 4 million. Roadkill, you're buying this for Cyberpunk? You're gonna pay... You're gonna buy Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch 2? I have a question. Isn't the Switch 2 as powerful as a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? So, all of a sudden, are we gonna all forget about the Xbox Series S? Do you know what I mean? The S has been around for 5 years, and people gave it shit the entire 5 years. But now the Switch 2 is coming out, and we're gonna just pretend that the third-party games are gonna run on it better than the Series S? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we live in we're living in today, right? The Xbox Series S, the potato, that everyone said that it's bad, it's holding gaming back. That's what it is. Nintendo now taking the same games that you could already get the last 5 years on a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation or Xbox Series S and X, are going to buy it on the Switch 2. And nobody's going to say, well, it looks bad. We're just going to... We're going to do this now, huh? Okay, we're gonna do this? Like, what are we talking about?
We need to focus now.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
My mark.
I think it looks fine for what I know it's on. But to say that this is amazing looking... I just don't get it. People are gonna praise it on the Switch 2, but shit on it in the Series S. Hey, it's nice to know. It's nice to know it's recommending my own videos to me. It's recommending my own videos. That's fantastic. At least I'm getting some traction. I just don't get it. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let's see here. Okay. So, what footage is this from? What is this from? What's your guys' guesses? What's your guess?
You've stepped in it now.
You're confused at what I'm getting at, Krebsy? That people are praising Cyberpunk on Switch 2, and they're like, oh, it looks beautiful? Right? Does this look worse or better than the Switch? The Switch. Roic says, I think it's the S. Altern says the S. Eclipse says the S. Yes, this is the S. Right? Does this look better or worse than the Switch 2? Obviously, it looks better. Obviously, it runs better.
Born to kill.
I was close, Nintendo DS. My whole point is that people gave the S crap the entire time, that it looks like shit, but then you look at Nintendo Switch S and they're like, oh, Cyberpunk's coming out on the S. Robert Jones says, I'm watching at 144p, so I don't know. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good on the Switch. Looks amazing. Third Injustice game could be in development, according to a data miner. What else we got? Baldur's Gate 3 figures maker is offering a full refund for its set. Oh, okay. What something happened there? What else we got? Ooh. Saber Interactive have continued to capture my attention this time with the newest release of Roadcrafters. Review has a 9 out of 10 for Roadcrafter. That comes out tomorrow, doesn't it? Roadcrafter? What else we got here? It looks like wall running is coming back to Call of Duty with the next Black Ops. Ooh. Oh, Kona Vision. Madden brings back the Kona Vision, and Call of Duty brings back the wall running. Altern says, so the Switch 2 has a little bit more power than the PlayStation 4. Then why is Cyberpunk 2077 now mysteriously run on the Switch 2, but not the PlayStation 4? I'm confused on why people would say they don't want to make games for Xbox Series S because of the power, and yet the same developers now making those same games, but now putting them over on a lower tier system of Nintendo. That's where I'm a little confused about. Talk shit about making a platform for one and then working on the platform that's less powerful than what's already out. But it's Nintendo. I get it. Nintendo good. Microsoft bad. Oh, the Knicks went on to the next round, huh? And the Panthers went on to the next round for hockey. Nice. The market is 100 times better or bigger? Sure. But they were complaining about the power, Jones. Not the market. They were complaining about the power. If you wanna complain that the market is not good and you don't want to make games for the system that's not selling well, cool. But they're saying that the power of it is holding them back. But yeah, now they're making the games for a lesser console. But because it has good market share, we could forget about that, right? It's okay. Let's see here. Microsoft Gronk 3 comes to Microsoft Azure. Follow up with the greatest city builder, Anno 117. Doesn't seem like much is going on. Development of Towerborn and collaborative effort. Join us and help us shape up the future of the Belfry. I'm just shy of 2 characters at 50 on that game. All right. Roadcrafter review. We'll probably look at that tomorrow. We'll look at the Roadcrafter review tomorrow because it comes out tomorrow anyway. Battle for Brooklyn for Division 2 comes out tomorrow. May 22nd. Oh, entries closed Thursday. It doesn't come out. Sorry. Nearly time to return to Brooklyn Agents. You can share the thing closes at. There's like a contest going on. But it doesn't come out tomorrow. All right. That's going to do it for me this morning. Tomorrow, I don't know if we're going to have a show. I have to wait for the contractor to show up. And if he shows up tomorrow morning, then we're going to miss tomorrow's show. If he doesn't show up, then we'll have a show. There will not be a show in the afternoon with Hilly. for Dragon Wilds. We're going to be missing that for the next couple weeks. Other than that, we'll be back tonight for more gameplay. I'm not sure what I'm going to play yet, but make sure you come on out, hang out with us 8 p.m. tonight over on 30 and Still Gaming. You can also watch the past broadcasts over here on 30 NSG. Go check out some of the music that we play in the mornings over at 30 and Still Jamming. You can find all of it on our channel down below in the description, and also the homepage of 30 NSG. What else are we doing? I think that's it. Gameplay. If you also want to watch over on Twitch, you can watch on Twitch as well, wherever you guys prefer. Appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Lots of news on winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning fix. Your morning fix.
Welcome to the Alpha, strap in, let's roll. Marathons live and spiraling out of control. Mouse assists, wild headshots on blast. Even Stevie Wonder can snipe that fast. Bungie said test this, it's hot off the grill, but the aim's so cracked it's practically ill. Then boom, plot twist, forget the fragless, the biggest scandal pop, too loud to miss. An artist named N2 stepped into the chat, said, yo Bungie, you really use that? 2017, I dropped that design, now it's hanging in your alpha like it's totally fine. No mail, no tag, no legal reply, just my work on a billboard in $1 billion sky. You took the sauce, forgot the chef, and called it inspiration like theft ain't theft. Control plus steal, you did it again. Stole my art like it's just a trend. No credit shown, no royalty split, just AAA silence and a graphics kit. Copy, paste, repeat, that's the deal. Mood board looting with mass appeal. No contract, no message, no nod, no crown, just $1 billion dev trying to hold it down. And two pulled up with the files and the facts. Screenshots hit like Destiny attacks. 10 years grinding, can't afford a case, while studios lift my style with no trace. From zines to screens, they swipe for years, and now they're ghosting like exo engineers. The pixels don't lie, the textures align, even AI screamed, yo or tasting. We'll patch the recall and smooth the frame. But the artists, now that's not our game.
They call it inspo, we call it theft. Another indie berry while execs get left. Sony dropped billions, 3.6 clean. Bought Bungie thinking, we'll print green. Now they peek down from that PlayStation tower like you stole what? In our golden hour stacks tall as Babel, prestige in hand. You can't pay an artist for a poster so grand. You launched the next big IP on lies, now it's getting cooked before it can rise.
Sorrow plus steel, it's all on tape. Caught red-handed, no escape. Your aim was cracked, your credits fake. Your whole game's launch got served on a plate. You copy paste intro, undo the shame for the world to see. Your PO's bad, your vibes are worse. You can't patch morals in your day one burst. Shout out to Into, still holding strong while devs remix right and wrong. If you build your world off another's fight, then at least spell the damn name right. Spell the damn name right. Mic drop, Sony branded, still overpriced, still uncredited. Mic drop, Sony branded, still overpriced, still uncredited.